You guys are just closed-minded. You just won't accept any new information.
Yeah, and the big one, your science deniers and ignoring all the scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you actually look at us flat earthers, you will see that we adhere to the scientific method where it's applicable. Because if you're looking at flat earth and the heliocentric model, it's not a scientific endeavor. So you don't need any science there. But they like to throw the word science in to bamboozle you. So you shut down because you don't know about science. So as soon as you hear the word science, you go into your shell.
Is it that they're trying to bamboozle, or is it the fact that a lot of them don't understand that we're just talking about geometry, not science or the scientific method?
Yeah. Well, I think we can put it down to both at the end of the day, because remember, there is a deception going on. And when they throw science to people, people tend to shut down because they don't know about science. It's out of their comfort zone. So they think, oh yeah, well, he's the expert. Let them do it. I used to be like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I used to do that. I used to think, well, let me listen to what the experts are saying. And you're hanging on to their word. You're not actually checking what they're saying is true, you see. And that's how you end up believing them, because you're being lazy. You don't want to check because you think it's a lot of work, but it's not. Children of 8 can prove that the earth isn't a globe, ladies and gentlemen. 8-year-olds from elementary school, you put them in groups, you give them certain equipments, they can go out and they'll prove to you that the earth is not a ball. They can do it. That easy. And you know how kids are. They want to get it right. They're very full of energy. They're learning. They're uploading, you see. They want to upload everything and then do it the best. That's how kids are. And given the opportunity, they do the best. Yeah. So you don't have to have a master's, a diploma of a PhD, a doctorate, all that stuff. That's overqualification for something elementary. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, look back into your lives. Be honest with yourselves. You've been lazy. You've been letting them tell you what's going down, and they've been lying to you all along. All you need to do is go and check. And when you know that, and you do your investigation, you become the nerd that you used to hear about at school. That's what happened. That's what's happened to me. I used to hear the nerds getting made fun of. I even had a friend as a nerd. His name was Kevin Burdekin. A really nice guy. Kevin Burdekin. He played chess. So I learned how to play chess from my friend Kevin Burdekin. Nice guy. And he belonged to the Islington Chess Club, right? And he was in a competition with the third best of Russia. So he came from Russia to the Islington Club for a tournament. And my friend Kevin Burdekin drew with this guy. And he was in the newspapers, the local newspapers. And I was so amazed that he drew. He didn't lose, he drew. Wow, this guy, Kevin's powerful. And he belonged to the school chess club, and so did I. And he was a nerd. He was a really intelligent guy, He was being bullied.
Oh, I wanted to start singing. He played knick-knack on my chinnigan.
Hey, Jin. Somebody asked you in the text chat, what tests have you done over there in Japan? What field tests have you done? I think you remarked one time that you did one of the mountains there, I guess, long distance observation. But you might want to tell the person in the text chat what you've done.
Absolutely, yeah. We've done from Fukushima, where I used to go camping. From the campsite, we could see the Mount Fuji, for example, which is 180 miles away. Should have been at least 4 miles of curvature that should have blocked our observation of that mountain. Okay. Then there's a place called Mount Scuba. And from Mount Scuba, again, that's about 200 miles. You can see the whole mountain from Mount Scuba. Flat, no curvature. Then there are traveling distances that I've done. For example, traveling from London to Japan, 6,000 miles. There should have been 3,740.47 miles of curvature through the 9-hour flight. And when you extrapolate that onto your globe, 6,000 miles is almost 1/4 of the globe. 1/4, that's 90 degrees. 90 degrees of curvature that I did not experience. That's proving flat Earth right there. And loads of long distance observations. West coast of Africa, looking at the Canary Islands back in the 70s. Now, I wasn't measuring anything because I was a kid, just looking. I didn't even know I was on the flat Earth. I was on my way to Nigeria. But my dad pointed out, there's the Canary Islands. I said, oh, really? He'd been there. I hadn't been there. I said, oh, right. Yeah, you know, see the silhouette, that's all. But I didn't know that it was a flat Earth then. See? So there's lots of experiences that we have. Military training, jumping out of the parachutes, looking at the horizon. It's dead level. Dead level. Didn't pick it up. So there's lots of clues that I missed. Okay? Get out there and start looking. Thanks for the question, by the way. Let me look in the chat as well. Oh, yeah. You know, one's experiences tell you whether or not you're on a globe, especially if you're an active individual like me. I'm still active now, 63, still loving it. Yeah. I could not believe the amount of times that I've traveled and not noticed the curvature of the Earth. And then when I started looking, I realized it was never there because I never saw it from any aeroplane. No curvature experience. So I should have noticed that. But again, you're taking the Earth as a globe. So you're not thinking, let me check for curvature. That's not something you think about. You just enjoy the flight. You look at everything, you can see everything, it's flat, but it's not registering. You're just thinking, yeah, it's normal. Yeah, I can see, look at the cars, you know, look at the mountains. Yeah, you know, yeah. So, you know, I've experienced a lot. 2 weeks from Southampton to Nigeria, 2 weeks on the ocean, nothing but leveled horizon. That's the after image that is seared in my brain. Horizontal horizon, 360 degrees. And as a kid on a ship, 2 weeks is a long time. You're looking for land. We did stop off along the way, many stops. But, you know, there were days that you're on the ship and you're just seeing water. Yeah, brilliant, though. Absolutely brilliant. Sunny weather all the way. It was not cloudy once. It wasn't raining, ever. And I've done that trip twice. Once with the whole family, and then the second time with my dad and myself only. And on both occasions, the weather was just fantastic. There was not one drop of rain. Yeah. If you can imagine that on the oceans. The ship was called the MV Oriel. MV Oriel, built in Clydebank, Scotland in 1950, died in India as scrap, I think, in 2001. Yeah, that was the end of the ship. The MV Oriel, regularly leaving Liverpool, Southampton to the Africas. Yeah.
All right, we got Dan Jr. that just jumped in here. Dan Jr., do you have some questions for the room?
Welcome, Dan Jr. I hope your dad's doing well, senior. Do you have any questions? Anything, it doesn't matter. You've made it this far, so you may as well ask one question. Anything, no matter how strange you might seem it to be, just ask it. Make your trip worth a while. Come on, Dan Jr. Make your visit worthwhile. Make it count. You know, I'm sure people have some weird ideas about us flat earthers. What kind of people are they? You know, what kind of people are flat earthers? Well, I like motorcycling. I love canoeing. I love cycling. I love mountain bike trekking. I love snowboarding. I love camping. I love hiking. I've climbed Mount Fuji 14 times, summiting 12 times. Okay, so I love the outdoor life. English teacher. I'm a welder, a mechanic, an electrician, plumber, glazer, carpentry. Okay? That's me as a flat earther right there. Fitness instructor. 12.5 years as a youth worker for the disadvantaged kids in London. 12.5 years I gave. volunteer. All right? All the while thinking I was on a globe. All right. So we come from all walks of life, all manner of skills. The one thing we have in common is that we took the Earth as a globe for granted until we went to check it. And then it was like, wow, it's flat. It really is. Wow. It's a bloody flat Earth. Nah, that's not true. So you go and double check, quadruple check. It's flat. No doubt about it. It's flat. Wow. 10 years on, and I'm still wowing about it. 10 years on.
Well, it looks like this VC has become number one in this server. Well, we're always number one in whatever server we're in. So congratulations to everybody that's putting in the effort to speak about it in here. You guys are doing a great job.
Well, thanks very much for that. I mean, we've all chipped in, as it were. And it's been fantastic. I've enjoyed the flow of the people coming in, curiosity, coming in to have questions. Yeah, it's been really, really good. And yourself, Miggy, you've been very good at downloading and articulating the flat Earth. I like the psychology of it as well, the way you do that. I like the psychology approach myself as well, which brings in the individual themselves to look at their lives, because you've got to look at your life, what you've been doing. And then when you look back, the one thing you're going to notice that the curvature of the Earth was never there. You've been able to travel. And those of you who are living in a high rise, go back out there and look again and see how flat everything is. Yeah. And then use Google Earth, see the landmarks that you've got, and then see how much curvature that should be there that isn't there. And then you start to think, bloody hell, I've been on this tower block for 15 years and it's been flat all along. What have I been doing? Yeah. Because it's very easy to prove. And once you realize it's a flat Earth, you've got to realize that it's flat in every country on this Earth. That should make you think, what created this thing, this level? Yeah, and then you start to get a little bit scared. All right? If you're a human being, you will have a little bit of fear there because you don't even know how we got here. And yet you've got the pistachio nuts and fruits, berries, yeah, vegetables. Who put it there for you to eat so you can be nourished? And then there's something you've got to pay back. You can't get something for nothing. Eh? Yeah, that's where the fear begins to kick in. What created this Earth? Because it is beautiful. It's magnificent in its creation. It's complex, but yet simple. Wow. Okay? What have you been doing when you should have been checking? What have you been doing when you should be appreciating? Why are you voting for governments that don't care about the Earth? They're busy making you a slave. And they're making the money from your efforts, and they're living large, but they're living a crappy life. I guarantee you, their lifestyle's shit. Okay? But they've got all that money. All right? They're not living good, but you're not living as well as they are in the sense of the money they have. Right. So you start working it out. Yeah. What made this flat Earth? Because it is flat. And that takes some doing. Man, that takes some doing. Man. Yeah. And the sun and the moon are orbiting above your head. What force put that up there? It's up. It doesn't drop onto the floor. Wow. I mean, come on, people. Start thinking about this. The blood in your veins. How did that come? That liquid that's flowing through your body now as you breathe. And you oxygenate it so you can keep on living. Honestly, you guys, like I said, you don't even know you're alive. Gaming, honestly. You're running after the next fur coat or the next set of nails and the eyelash and blusher, lipstick and the bum revealing bikini just to get out onto the beach to strut it. Really? Is that what it's all about, is it, ladies? Okay, and gentlemen. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But we're not spinning whilst you're thinking about all that. We're not spinning at all. We're not a ball. How can you live upside down? Come on. Start waking up, will you? Upside down. And notice how we don't see that from any satellite. Like it's been said that if that was an image captured by satellite, everybody's computer home screen would be the Earth spinning, and you see those aeroplanes and ships navigating the Earth. That because it would be a sight to behold if it was a ball. No, we don't have those images, do we, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Yes. What made the Earth? You should be quivering in your slippers or your boots or your shoes or your stiletto heels. Because something much, much powerful than man has done this. Yeah. Look at the engineering of it. All engineers can appreciate what I'm saying, of course, or in the fields of carpentry, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, building construction. Yeah, they will understand that the Earth built flat is not an easy undertaking. What did it? Yeah. Bloody amazing. That's when you're getting closer to the Creator, when you can think on those levels. Yourself, you know you owe God something. And we've allowed horrible governments to ruin it. People are being bombed in supposedly in Ukraine, terrible action. And then you've got Israel as well with the Palestinians. And then you had the Iraq wars and the Afghanistans. There you go. We have reached rock bottom, especially as we're allowing women to pull the trigger now and fire the bombs. And come on. We've ruined the game completely. Yeah, right. But you've got to consider that's the real stuff. Yeah. That's what I said. It's been great fun. Last 10 years has been maximum enjoyment with realization that the Earth is not a ball. That's maximum enjoyment. I'm not worried about the asteroids coming in to destroy us. And speaking of asteroids, July 1st, apparently the astronomers discovered this comet that's meant to be the oldest comet in the universe. Right? It's meant to be like 3 billion years older than the Earth. How could they know that, number one, to make that statement? How would you know that thing that's supposedly hurtling through the universe at 60 kilometers a second, that's in 1 second, it's done 36 miles. Okay? Very fast, isn't it? 36 miles a second. Right. They love those wild speeds. How would they know what it was made of? And they're talking about intercepting these comets in the very, very near future. There's a new comet interceptor by the European Space Agency. They put it out there. It's going to be able to intercept these comets. What a waste of taxpayers' money, because it's a big lie. It's not out there. They're lying to us. We know this. But there you are, And this comet is on an elliptical orbit. Okay, it's going to come near to the Earth, near to the Sun. I think they said in October, it's going to pass near the Sun. And at the end of the year, it will go past near the Earth. We can't see it with the naked eye. We're going to need big telescopes, they said. And then once it's passed, it's gone. Yeah. See how easy they can lie there, ladies and gentlemen. You can't see it, but it's coming and it's going to go. You're not going to see it, but there it is. And it's the oldest comet, older than the universe, the solar system, should I say. How would they know that? How could they examine it to know it? How do they know that the solar system is 4.5 billion years old? They love to lie, ladies and gentlemen. We can't leave the Earth. And we don't have technologies that can send a signal and then we receive it and somehow we can determine some kind of makeup of the planet, Spectroscopy, the study of the heat and the waves and the energy. Crap. It might work locally where your table is, where your TV is, but you look into those distant planets, impossible. Especially as the mileage they give us, the distances. So they're lying. That's what I mean by becoming a nerd. You start to realize that you can just dismantle what they say and leave them in shame. Yeah. So that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. At the moment, we're not on a ball spinning. The earth is flat. It's frightening to think who made it because we don't even know who made it. But yet, we call God the creator. And that's our way of trying to give thanks back to something we didn't make. And obviously, thinking for oneself, for sure that you don't have the right to destroy what you didn't make. That would be like you building a nice house and I come along and trash your kitchen, trash your toilet, because I can do that, and then trash the living room and think it's okay. And it's not okay, is it? Right. So we don't have the right to hunt animals to extinction, right? And change the food to genetically modified, which is substantially not equivalent, substantially what's the word? Inequivalent. Yeah. Okay. To God's natural produce. But that's what we're doing. We're trying to be like God here, only making carcinogenic foods, fluoridated water, poisonous air. That's what we're doing. Ruining the game. Worst living thing on the earth we are. So let's start to work together, go and investigate. And when you realize that the earth is indeed a globe, you'll want redress. And I'll be waiting in the front of the queue. I'm already there. Let's have that revolution pretty quick. Yeah. The whole system that we've got will collapse like a house of cards, and we can start to live properly. So, any questions, anybody? Welcome in. Welcome, sir, madam, whoever you are. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Anything you're curious about? Any queries? How does this work on a flat earth? How does that work on a flat earth? How comes it's flat? Etc., etc.
I want to know how that shit works on a ball, not on a flat earth.
Yeah, exactly. Very true there, Radwin. The question should be asked, how does it work on a ball? Yeah. Because I always asked that question, how does it work on a flat earth? And I always replied, as it's always done for eons, because the earth was always flat. We've never lived on a ball. So the question should be, how does it work on the ball? Because you haven't lived on it, you haven't experienced it. So, and you don't even know the model. Have you measured? No. Do you know the ins and outs? No, they don't know anything. But yet they're right. It's a globe. So yeah, good point, Radwin. Good point. Yeah. Did you give any triangle tests today?
No, I'm at work writing code.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah. Yeah, Radwin's at work. He's discuss flat earth with you guys. Okay. He's studying business English, but from time to time I introduce to the converse with him next week. Not next week, sorry.
I think you're roboting, Jin.
Thank you. Thank you.
unless it's me, I heard you said that there's a student coming by who's studying business English, and you might be interested in discussing flat Earth with us.
Well, yeah, that's right. It's been coming to me for about 10 years. And, maybe 8 years. And he knows the Earth is flat, of course, because I've told him that. And then from time to time, I introduce him to the Discord where they're talking about flat Earth and that. And yeah, hopefully he will come in and discuss flat Earth with you guys. You can ask him questions, or he may ask you questions. But it'll be in 2 weeks' time, not next week. Next week, Monday's a public holiday. It's called Umi no Hi, Day of the Sea holiday. Next Monday. So all the school kids will be off. We usually go canoeing on that day. We'll see what the kids want to do. Umi no Hi.
Great. Okay. Hey, DJ, admin moderator note. Some guy just typed a wall of text at me. Is it some ban evader? I don't know if DJ's here. Any other mod?
Yeah, I think Radwin's here. Radwin. We got a problem.
Yeah, I'm driving now and I can't read a wall of text.
It's what in the chat GPT is this, is what I typed.
The only thing I saw at the top was, "This is me on an alt account, you're wrong," and then a wall of text.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens to them when reality actually kicks in, and they're sitting there, and every word that I've said has resonated, and has exactly described what he's been doing and what he's continuing to do. Then they do that, of course.
So the chap you were texting to before, Sporadic, where were we? The Agua.
Agua.
It's him. So yeah, old account time, idiots. So I'll just say this last piece in one go to prove you wrong once and for all before you mute this account as well, and then I'll head to bed because it seems we definitely both have better things to do. For me to go to bed, wake up, work tomorrow, and for you to continue sucking yourself and everyone else here off while staying unemployed.
Is he really saying that in text chat?
I am reading this word for word. That's the first paragraph. The Sagnac effect measures angular velocity, not linear speed. That's why gyros use it, because when you rotate a loop of light in a closed path beam, going with the rotation takes slightly longer than the one going against it.
All right, let's hit pause.
Yeah.
He's straw manning what I told him. Like, I never said that it is only a linear calculation. I brought up another guy who demonstrated the Sagnac effect on a conveyor belt going back and forth, instead of how the Sagnac effect is normally produced by spinning lasers on a table, like a Lazy Susan, or like Pat Sajak on Wheel of Fortune. So the idea of bringing up the conveyor belt linearization of the Sagnac effect is to show that the same phase shift can be reproduced in other ways, not just the way that Sagnac had done. And furthermore, it is also highlighting a reference frame issue, because if Earth is in an accelerative reference frame, if Earth indeed has an angular velocity, then why do you need to produce velocity in the reference frame that you're measuring from?
Yeah. And then my question is, sorry to interrupt this, Sporadic. I thought that if the rotation is happening, we're more concerned about linear rotation as opposed to angular. That's the thing, though. So what's he talking about?
Right. So he seems to, I don't know. Keep going, Matrix. All right, and then I'll hit pause after I hear something else that's absolute nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's lying.
So I'll go back to that second paragraph. The Sagnac effect measures angular velocity, not linear speed. That's why gyros use it, because when you rotate a loop of light in a closed path, the beam going with the rotation takes slightly longer than the one going against it. And that definitely does create a real measurable phase shift. not assumed.
All right, hold,
and not
pause.
guessed.
All right, pause. So he just admitted that rotating the table creates the phase shift. That's not Earth moving. All right, next.
So from that, you will calculate the angular velocity using known values that I've already mentioned before. If you guys here don't know what that is, then fine.
His known values assume a reference frame of a rotating Earth in the first instance. So there's your circular logic. And what's upsetting is he did not want to restate that here because he didn't want the audience hearing that part. He wanted the audience to hear that he's already established this as a fact, and he wanted to whistle past the graveyard and hoping that the audience would accept these quote unquote known values as a foregone conclusion. But these known values are exactly what I for the audience so that we could expose the fact that he's engaged in circular reasoning, which is what the Sagnac effect itself is. Circular reasoning. Continue.
And affirming the consequent.
Yeah. If you like that, that's fine, but that's literally how ring laser gyros and fiber optic gyros work in IRL navigation. As for the reference frames,
nobody's spinning the gyro around to produce a phase shift. So he doesn't know what these devices are doing.
Did you find out who the mystery man was, Brad?
Oh, we got a fair idea.
I can barely hear you, Alpha. What?
I'll just say, did you find out who the mystery man was?
Yeah, this is a guy that was in text chat earlier that took like 30 minutes to reply to 2 questions. All right, Matrix, please go on.
As for the reference frames, they're not some made-up choice. The rotating frame is the table, like Sporadic mentioned, or the gyro on Earth, which I tried to make him understand and point out over and over again, but I was the time waster here, and it seems, I guess, ignorance truly must be bliss.
There you go. The other reference frame is the Earth. Is the Earth in motion or not? If it's in motion, why do you need to produce an accelerated frame on the table that you're measuring Earth's rotation from? This is the same problem with Coriolis claims and with the Foucault pendulum claim. These devices that are supposedly measuring Earth's acceleration from a stationary frame are having to be put in an accelerated frame themselves. You only need one accelerated frame relative to an inertial or stationary frame in order to measure the velocity of something. So this is affirming the consequent. It's circular reasoning. We have not yet established that Earth is in motion. And he wants everybody to accept it as a foregone conclusion to claim the Sagnac effect is measuring it when it's not. All right, continue.
The inertial frame is space relative to distant stars. But since you guys are dumb, you'll probably deny that as well, which is standard in physics because the stars barely move relative to each other, and that makes them the best background to detect rotation against.
All right, so pause. How did he calibrate the instrument to be stationary with relative to the star frame, called the sidereal frame? The answer is he didn't. He's assuming that the Earth is moving. So his calibration has this baked-in assumption. Therefore, it is absolute circular reasoning. It is affirming the consequent. He still has to answer for why he thinks the spinning globe is a valid starting point for making his observation valid to begin with. And he can't do it. All right, is there any more, Matrix? Continue.
Yeah. You keep asking why we don't use the sun or moon, but the sun's apparent motion in the sky is a result of the Earth's own rotation and orbit, and the moon is literally moving constantly as it orbits the Earth.
All right, pause. That's another baseless claim. You know, he's just throwing out baseless claims. Of course, we know that that is the claim. You know, here's the thing, guys. When they observe the two lights recombining together on this rotating table, and the two lights are out of phase with each other and produces these lines. Okay? The observer doing the Sagnac effect is looking around nature for an explanation for this before he can compute a velocity. Seeing those two recombined lights on the plate itself is not a velocity measurement. It's just two paths of light that arrive together at different times. You don't have velocity from that. One could have easily chosen as a heliocentrist, or actually as a geocentrist glober, one could have chosen the solar frame as the basis of motion, saying that this is a consequence of the sun movement, or the earth moving relative to the sun, but they didn't. Okay? They could have done the same with the moon. And this would have yielded a different velocity outcome. This is pointing out the arbitrary nature of the assignment of reference frames, which was my first question to him to begin with. What are the reference frames in question? And he took 30 minutes before giving me a non-answer, and I banned him. All right, continue, Major.
Wait. It's proof of ether?
Oh, go ahead.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're not stable enough to serve as inertial reference frames. The stars, however, especially distant ones, provide a much more consistent, non-accelerating background, and that's why physics uses them to define an inertial frame.
I know that. It's like, no shit. Most people believe the stars are in a fixed reference frame. They assume this in spite of watching them move from an Earth that has no measurable velocity itself. This is exactly why he avoided answering my question and why he dropped the stink bomb into the hallway and decided to leave for the day.
So the last
All right, carry on.
one. Wang's experiment with the conveyor belt just showed that a version of the Sagnac effect also happens in a moving medium. It didn't disprove anything, it just extended the idea. But gyros don't have moving fiber. They rotate, and that's what produces the phase shift. So yes, the effect shows Earth's rotation, and we don't need to move the table manually because the Earth is already rotating under it. And so, no, this isn't
That's
just
funny
a
because you
sign.
know what? All right, pause. The phase shift doesn't appear until you start moving the table or moving the device on a conveyor belt. Like that, he admitted that previously, and now he's tried to Uno reverse everybody and hopes that nobody remembered what he just said before, which was correct, and he acknowledged that I was correct. That the phenomenon only shows up once you begin moving this shit around yourself, independent of the Earth.
In the last little bit. And so, no,
Yep.
This isn't just a signed motion or circular oozing. It's a repeatable physical phenomenon that matches the rotation rate of Earth everywhere it's measured. And last I checked, that's not an assumption, that's a result. The end.
Wow, that's so dishonest. Like, once again, he's whistling past the graveyard. He's assuming that the stars are a stationary reference frame when he hasn't made that determination to begin with. This whole thing is just one gigantic heap of dog shit. And then he had to throw in insults everywhere. I not once insulted him until he started dodging and evading my initial questions. Then I started getting nasty, but I actually didn't insult him. I was just rude to him. All right, so this guy's probably one of my Twitter fans or something that likes to follow people around everywhere they go on the internet and say just stupid shit, trying to chant their globe beliefs.
No, I think this is the one you were just talking with earlier. I'm pretty sure that's him because he's referenced a whole heap of stuff. So whether he is a fan in other places, I don't know. But yeah, to me, when he first started off, he seemed to be just a copy-paste like Grok or ChatGPT or one of those. And what was it? Let's unpack this was the phrase. And as soon as I saw that, it's like, yep, you've just copy-pasted a bloody AI. Which was funny because I'm pretty sure you used the same statement just before it.
I know. And I was like, go shit. Yeah, I mean, that's just part of my normal language. And I remember when I first started messing with Grok and Grok kept saying, let's unpack this. I'm like, oh crap, this is This is hilarious because that's what I say. But
I had a little laugh
yeah,
at that.
I mean,
I'll put you out.
the bigger giveaway. Yeah, the bigger giveaway was the mathematical notation that he copied and pasted directly from the chat bot.
Yeah, I didn't get to read all of it.
So he posted the equation for the Sagnac effect when I asked him for how do you link the reference frames to the measurements that are claimed with the Sagnac effect, and he posted the equation, which doesn't answer anything.
Which you're trying to tie the equation to reality.
Yeah, and so now he's actually tried to give us an attempt at a fair answer, and it went exactly where I predicted it would, where I told the audience it would go.
I'll just make the claim in mathematical
the arbitrary
form.
nature of the assignment of reference frames. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. I was just saying, I was just mocking him. Just like, I'll just make the claim in mathematical form. That'll show him.
Yeah. They try. A lot of these guys go up against people that may not have a technical background, and they're hoping to bamboozle them with their supposed knowledge of these equations and their textbook definitions of what's going on. The second you interrogate them on the thought process, on the philosophy of what they're doing, that's when everything falls apart. So, the point, what's funny is I brought up Wang, Robert Wang? Fuck. Wang and some other guy. These two people that work together on a GPS system. They linearized the Sagnac effect, which had never been done before in history. They showed that they could reproduce the same phase shift by putting lasers on a conveyor belt and moving the lasers on the conveyor belt from point A to B. So his initial claim that the Sagnac effect measures an angular velocity, that's what he said in text chat. And that's why I responded with the Wang demonstration. The claim that the Sagnac effect is an angular velocity measurement has been rebutted by the linearization of the effect on a conveyor belt. The conveyor belt is not showing a displacement of angle like you do with a Wheel of Fortune table with a couple lasers set up on it. So this to me is really funny when then in his parting salvo here in this long wall of text chat, he starts acting like he's a sudden expert on Wang when he seemed to know nothing about it an hour ago when I replied to him with it as a problem. Because it's a problem for his initial claim that the Sagnac effect measures this rotational velocity. So he's, in a way, acknowledging that I'm right, that, yeah, you can change the setup and produce the same results. Why the fuck is that? And it goes back to my initial question in the first place. If this is measuring Earth as an accelerative reference frame, why do you need to accelerate the reference frame that you're measuring Earth's frame from? It does not show up otherwise. And the reason why this is so important is because within their own paradigm, the speed of light is an absolute velocity for all reference frames. And they're using the speed of light in order to measure an accelerative frame versus a stationary frame. So when they set up the initial Sagnac effect, they're like, fuck, it's not picking up any phase shift or any motion whatsoever. Well, what happens if we spin the table around? Oh, look, a phase shift. And the phase shift from the recombined light, like I said, is not itself a velocity value. You can't produce a velocity value now without assigning reference frames, without conjuring up an explanation. They're doing the same thing that other people in pseudoscience do. They create an observation. They don't have one from nature. They create one. And then they look around in nature for an explanation. And when they find one that sounds good, they declare that that's the case. So in this manner, they said, you know what? We're going to assign the rotational frame of the star field above our head as the velocity frame. And then they go a step further and say, the stars are going to assume we're actually fixed and the Earth is rotating below it.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say earlier, like I can point out a few fallacies in there, and confirmation bias is one of them. Single cause fallacy,
Yeah.
another one. And the ones you mentioned, and yeah, my goodness gracious, he's walking fallacious factory.
Yeah, the whole Sagnac effect is proof of Earth's motion is. Yep, so you pointed out the single cause fallacy. So for the audience, the single cause fallacy is saying that the only reason X can happen is because of Y. It's the only reason why the phase shift is showing up in this manner is because Earth is rotating. And we know Earth is rotating because why? We see the stars moving overhead. And the only way the stars are moving overhead is because Earth is rotating. You are not allowed to assign any other potential presumed cause than that. You are not allowed to say that Earth is stationary and the stars are rotating. And you're not allowed to say, well, it's not the stars that are rotating, but the fucking table itself that the Sagnac effect apparatus is set up has to be rotating for the phase shift to appear. So here's the thing. You know these ring laser gyros and fiber optic gyros? These are just teeny tiny Sagnac effect tables. They're shining light in different directions and recombining them on a sensor. Unless those things are moving, which why would you do that in the first instance, right? There's not going to be a phase shift. So if you're going to have to rotate your ring laser gyro, your fiber optic gyro, unless you're going to start rotating, spinning that up on a flywheel, you're not going to get the phase shift. And these ring laser gyros don't do that. They just sit there. They themselves provide the fixed frame of reference. So, unless you're going to be moving these gyros around and spinning them and all this other wobbly shit to get them to produce that phase shift, you may as well just use a mechanical gyroscope in the first place with a flywheel. No sense in having $30,000 of miniaturized, laser beams on a circuit board.
Well, for those who are interested, I posted 2 videos there. One is called 5 Famous Scientific Experiments That Prove a Stationary Earth. And then the other one was done by Jaron a number of years ago. Are we spinning? Okay. That Jaron one's 32 minutes. The other one, the first one I mentioned, is 50 minutes. And it goes through 5 experiments. So each experiment is 10 minutes long. It's a really good video. You learn about Sagnac, Aries failure, Michelson and Morley, and the rest of it. And Einstein as well comes in. And they say that Einstein was lying about his mathematical formulas.
Yeah, Jim, I just wouldn't be, advertising Jaron as any particular point source of information. He's a charlatan, sir. He's been shown to be one, and what would happen is that somebody looks into this information, they might be led a wrong path because they're going to see who he is and be exposed to him. So I would just keep him out of any direct, information-seeking people. Anyway, because of him being a charlatan, not for any other reason. He might have just said one true thing, but that doesn't negate the fact that he's going to lead somebody down the wrong path.
Oh yeah, the thing is, he's still we're flat earthers, so we're just bringing. I mean, he did some good work, and he was correcting that we're not spinning. So I mean, that's not lying there. I know he's a bit of a wally at the moment. Turned out to be a bit of a charlatan.
He's a straight up charlatan, sir. He has been somebody who's telling people false information about that the sun's making it seem like the Earth's rotating. So this is all to deal with bringing people back. So he's a Piper of flat Earth, leading people back to the globe. These unsuspecting souls that are going to look into this information are going to look into it acting like they're going to, they're inquiring about it, and you're just giving them the charlatan to look at. So I would I'd keep them away from any information about that guy. You could use 24/7 as an example. Use sporadic as an example. Don't use Jaron, sir. I would stay clear away from Jaron. He's a charlatan. He's known to be one. So
thank you, Alpha. I want to put just a little cherry on top of what I said before I go into work. For any flat earthers out there who are interested in the Sagnac effect, the technicals can be a bit daunting. I get it. So if you're up against a glober that cites the Sagnac effect as proof of the globe, you can simply ask them this question. Why did Sagnac have to rotate the table to produce the phase shift if Earth is moving? That's it. Leave them with that and let them scramble. All right. See you guys later.
Cheers, mate. Catch ya.
Yeah, cheers. Lovely. Yeah, I removed that video anyway on your request. So there you go. I removed it. So no problem there. Just, he explained it very well though, but okay. I have removed it. Deleted it. Yeah, he's definitely a charlatan. He's doing it all for the money at the end of the day. I knew there was something up when he made the mistake with the beam test that he was doing, and then there was that behind the curve nonsense that he got involved in. And he did put his foot in the bucket several times prior to this move back to the globe. So I would agree that he is definitely a charlatan. So in the final analysis, ladies and gentlemen, we're not spinning at all. Okay? We're just not spinning. We're stationary. That's what we notice. And time-lapse photographies all over the place on YouTube support that as well.
Governors.
Hello, how you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing well, sir. Good morning. Good to see you. Hear you.
Yeah, good to hear you too as well. Where you off? You off to work? Are you? Where you going?
Yeah, I'm going to stop and try to pick up some breakfast and then head into the office. I got like a spider bite on my arm, but I got a spot that hurts pretty bad, so I don't know if I'm going to have to get that attended to today or what.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Yeah. Wow, you got a bed. So the bed bugs bit you whilst you were sleeping. Ah.
Must have been. I don't know what it was. I don't know. We were outside last night, but I took some Zyrtec and ibuprofen, and hopefully that'll just take care of it.
Mm. Yeah.
But yeah, so anything interesting going on than me sounding like an old man?
Yeah, you broke up towards the end there. I didn't quite catch what you were saying. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Just saying, has anything interesting been going on in here other than me old man talking about all the medical ailments?
Oh no, just sporadic was talking to a character earlier on about the Earth not spinning and that, and terms of references, and the guy who spoke to kind of like crashed and burned, and then decided to dump what his opinion basically, right, of how the Earth is spinning and everything else, and we were just looking at that, and sporadic was doing his critique and showing us how the guy was lying through what he said. And that's what we were just doing just now. It was quite interesting. I then posted a video, which is 50 minutes long, 5 famous scientific experiments that prove a stationary Earth. And then I backed that up with one from Jeran, but then I was advised that not to put that one in because Jeran is a charlatan and, he's gone back to the globe. We don't really want his stuff in here. So I had to remove that one, of course, and I obligingly did that. Yeah. His name is Mud in these parts. His name is Mud in these parts. In these hair parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's like saying that Jin CBR goes back to the globe. That will never happen.
No, that. If I go back to the globe, something went wrong there. They got to me, and they threatened my family. My life, and even then, I'm going to be dead. I wouldn't go back. I'll die first. That's what I'll be doing anyway. If I died, you know why I died. I'm not going to live on the globe. Nah, I'm the guy that will be dying for that. And I don't want any money. I don't want that kind of money.
No,
Sorry.
And that's the thing with Jeran. It was different. He went to do the final experiment, and he was showing people that, well, I see the sun moving around the sky, so therefore the Earth is now has to be a globe. And he's making all these ridiculous claims.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't want his name is Mud. It's like, we can't associate it. I'd rather somebody look at the content that you made, Jim, about the flat Earth than look at Jeran any day.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt
because the way I see it is, it definitely raises the level of scrutiny that we need to do on his past commentary because, some people like us have done good research and everything else, but how do we know he wasn't making some of that crap up on his own? It may sound good, it may sound right, but so I never was a fan of his. I tried to give him a fair shake for about 2 weeks back. I don't know. I don't remember when I come across him, but
he was around at the beginning. He was around at the very beginning back in 2015. I followed him through because he hammered NASA to smithereens. I felt totally exposed NASA, destroyed them.
But after watching him, I got the real clue that his show was more about leafy green lettuce than it was about that and cryptocurrency than it was actually about the topic at hand. And then he was talking about alpha males, and then I forget what else he was talking about. His television absolute boot show.
Yeah, that's when he began to change for me. That's when I started to slow down. Wasn't really interested in his shows by this point. I was only interested in the shows where he was attacking NASA and exposing NASA, and then, of course, pushing out the flat Earth truth and exposing the hideousness of the heliocentric model. Yeah, he was doing great stuff there. And then suddenly he started to change, exactly this time last year, to the day almost, he was complaining that flat earthers were abusing him and his family. He had more negative comments from flat earthers than he was getting from the Globers. That's what he was saying. And then someone said, well, what flat earthers are going to be slagging off Jeran? Who's going to be attacking? No, we want to know who those people were, because that didn't make any sense at all, right? And then he was talking about the 24-hour sun, and he doesn't want to be known as a flat earther. He's going to go to be a truther, and even then, that doesn't sound right as well. He was saying, because if there's a 24-hour sun, then that means the AE is wrecked. something's wrong there and you've got to tell the truth. You know, it does change things, but it doesn't because there's no curvature. That's what we were saying. And that's when I realized that Jaron was slowly moving back towards the globe. And the look of dejection on his face was speaking volumes. When he was on his show, he wasn't his perky self and that. He was like, you could tell that something had happened to him and his face looked rather sorry as he was doing what he was doing. Okay? It was on his face. I could see it. He wasn't even looking into the camera. He was gazing downwards as he was speaking. You know, so I thought, yeah, he's been got at somehow. But anyway, yeah. So charlatan, correct. If he's doing it for the money, correct. If they threaten your families, you just come out and said, look, they threatened my family, man. That's what I'd be saying anyway. I'd be dead, probably, because I wouldn't be taking him going, but what am I going back to the globe for? There's nothing there. I don't want to promote that. So Jim would be missing. That's what would happen. That would be my integrity kicking in. I'm not scared to die for the truth.
Has Guy Grifter Shitsit Hot Tool band? Is he still totally like gone radio silence, or what's happened to him?
Oh, you mean what's his name? You mean Witsit Shitsit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was in the Earth Awakenings not so long ago. Okay, popped in for a short time there. But he's not really, he's far from his former self anyway. I never followed him at all. Witsit wasn't really my fan. I wasn't a fan of Witsit as such. I felt he spoke too much, hogged the mic, didn't give people the chance to speak, loved Trump to death for some reason. I don't know why.
That's ironic you would say that.
Oh, sorry.
That's just ironic how you said that.
Well, I do apologize. If you think I hogged the mic, well, please tell me. I don't think I do. There's no one else talking anyway.
I'm just fucking with you, Dan.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, you shouldn't do that one because I am concerned. I don't want to hog the mic that much. I'm trying to be mindful. So that one did get cat. You caught me off guard there. But, you know, Witsit went on for hours. Yeah, he'd go on for hours, he would, on the mic, on the 24/7. I think maybe you were even there, Radwin, when I pulled him up on the Trump thing. He was going on about Trump, this, Trump, that, and I said to him, really? So you're going to be voting for Trump now as a flat earther? I shouted out that no flat earther should be voting for anything. And then there was this thing where you got to vote. I said, no, you don't. Not as a flat earther. Not when they're lying to you about where you live and they're making bombs and horrible medicines and stuff for you. Why would you vote for that when you know they've lied all the time?
I'd rather have bombs than rainbows everywhere and people all confused and that being legal.
Well, I don't even want that either. I don't want bombs or that. I don't want any of that stuff. I'm not going to vote.
That by putting the other bombs in, so now we can worry about that later because we don't need that shit. You're not allowed to talk to people with rainbows, and rainbows are allowed to do whatever they want, and we're not.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that we shouldn't be voting. If you're a flat earther, you don't vote. What are you voting for? What's there for you that you're going to benefit from?
Because if I don't, I get $100 fine or something like that.
Well, that'd be in Australia. Yeah, I'd say fuck them. Fucking give me £100 fine for not voting.
I could apply for exemption under like Religious Act or something like that if I wanted to. Like technically, I don't have to vote. All I have to do is turn up at the venue and get my name marked off the roll, and then I could just pretend to put I could pretend to write something on it, and I haven't written anything on it, and I just put the thing in the box and walk away. It's called a donkey vote. Yeah, they don't know. There's no unless they fingerprinted it or something. There's no way to tell who voted what, right? Like because there's no name on it. There's no number associated with the ballot they give you that's linked to the name marked in the roll. Nothing like that. So yeah, I doubt they could actually trace who did or didn't vote. Sometimes I've written funny things on there or whatever, you know. But but I don't. Yeah, it's just so stupid.
Well, that for me spells that there's more chance of a rigged election then, because if they're not tracing the voters, then how do they actually know who voted for who then? In a sense, you know, you could really rig it, couldn't you? Really, and that's what's going on. That spells a disaster. That's not a voting then. Because if you can just go up there and write nonsense, you know, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. It's just all fucked up.
They don't even have to rig it over here. It's either going to be Liberal or Labor. It's never any of the other parties. I don't even know why they even bother. I don't even know why the other parties exist. Like they have this fleeting hope that one day there'll be another party that gets selected. You know, no, it's never going to happen unless the people stand up and demand a change and kick these other parties out and say, no, you've had your turn for the past 100 and so years. It's time for someone else to have a go. Get out. Don't come back.
That's exactly what
I just wish that would happen, bro, but it's just not going to.
Well, I mean, I did see some show of strength from the Aussies, but it was when the women were beaten up by the authorities, okay? Because, you know, during the troubles, we'll call it, you know, the lockdown and, you know, you understand, yeah? So there were protests, and then the women were protesting, and the authorities were treating them like shit, treating them like men, slamming them down to the ground, really, really laying in heavy. And then the next time they came out in force like that, the women in the front and their men behind them, and those women were as close enough to spit in their face, right? They were really that close, and they were shouting and saying to them, we got our right, blah, 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 whatever they were saying. And the men were right there behind them. And those authorities didn't move an inch. Didn't dare move a millimeter, or it would have kicked off. I like that. I did like that particular day. Yeah. Because I remember this old lady of 70 years old.
Yeah.
I voted for a name for president that would truly shock the conscience.
Yeah, go on. Who was that then?
I like company, but nearly anybody who was counting those votes saw that, and it would have shocked. It would have been a shock to their conscience.
Yeah.
You might be able to read between the lines.
But yeah, I did enjoy watching that particular day. That protest was good. The authorities were trumped. Just stand still, don't even move, and the women let off.
Real quick, Jen.
Yeah, go on.
No, just saying, check your message real quick, but continue on.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes. Cheers. Leverington. Yeah, let me check my DMs. Didn't get a notification there.
Yeah, so anyway, it's a
good joke. Good joke.
Right.
Good joke, Barrington. Good joke, mate.
Yeah, because I mean, whoever you vote for might as well be that. I just don't want to say the name here in the polite company of the English Hub.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way.
Yeah.
But yeah, what somebody needs to do at some point who can stomach it is to clip some of his, Jaron's more interesting content, and then record the important parts, and then like record it written or whatever, and then go back to the research table and verify what was said, and then remake the content more or less.
Yeah. Just remake the content under your own voice, and then that way that gets rid of the gerund bit, and then you just use the material and move on. Yeah, free copyright and free use. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah.
I would want to actually go back to the research table and just make sure it wasn't something that he was spouting off where his words were preceding his knowledge.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. He definitely did some good stuff. No doubt about it. Good expose. But unfortunately, he's turned out to be a charlatan. So now his name is mud wherever he goes in the flat earth community.
It seemed to me that he was more interested in selling cryptocurrency courses and such like that.
Well, that's been a recent development since crypto come out. So the last 2 years. That's how long that's been going on.
I came across January 2021, and that's when he was talking about. Oh, go ahead, whoever that was.
Yeah, that would be right. You'd be right. Yeah. Okay, that would be correct.
Somebody else was jumping in there, so whoever else was jumping in there, by all means, please.
Yeah. Hello, whoever you are. Please come in and join us. And if you have any questions you have to ask us, please do. You're welcome to do that. And go ahead. What brings you in today?
That would be Ambu, but he became silent when you asked him.
Yeah. Come on, Ambu. You've made it this far. Make your visit count.
We're looking forward to having a good visit, my friend. We appreciate you stopping by.
I guess he prefers radio silence. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's made it this far. Should be able to ask a question, I think. It's not that difficult, Get yourself a nice question. Put it across, something you have a query, something you don't quite understand, or your curiosity is getting the better of you, maybe. Let's have your question. If you want to improve your English, then that's something else as well. We can do that here for you. We strike up conversations about your lifestyles, hobbies, interests, future plans. This is how you build your vocabulary. Yeah, comparing your country to my country, for example. That kind of thing we do here. This is how you build up your vocabulary, and you're able to speak better and converse. And then there's the flat earth and the heliocentric ball lie that we are discussing here. Flat earth truth, that's where we live. And the ball is the lie that they told us at school. So we discussed that. And the key points that come out mainly is that there's no curvature. Sometimes you hear the edge now and again, but we talk about the curvature here a lot. It's not there, has never been there. So, yeah, please ask your questions. I think he's building himself up. He's building up the courage to get the question out. Like when you want to do that big jump, you've never done it before, and you just want to summons the courage here, and then you take the plunge. Ah!
We also got Big Willie. Big Willie, welcome to the group.
Okay, Big Willie. Okay, how you doing, Mr. Small Willie? Big Willie. The names they come up with.
And just for all who are new around here, I promise you, Jen's bark is a whole lot worse than his bite.
But I don't bite.
We also got Croissant. Croissant, yeah. Welcome to the group.
Croissant, welcome. Again, if you've got any questions, Croissant, please ask any question you like, anything. We're here to help you. If you want to improve your English, again, we can strike up a conversation with me or one of my colleagues here, and we can talk about lifestyles, hobbies, interests, places you've been to, future plans, what you're currently doing, anything you like. This is how you build up your vocabulary, and we can advise you on how to improve your English outside of this server as well. So, yeah. And we also talk about, obviously, the flat earth truth and that global lie that people believe they're living on. That's never been proven to exist. Okay, so yeah, please ask your questions. I'll go on mute to give you a chance to speak. There you go.
And for those who are a little shy at this point, just keep in mind, operators are standing by 24/7 in a channel near you. But we would rather answer your questions now and help practice a little English every day myself, even though I'm a native English speaker. Every day I learn more about this language. It's a tough language. So we're more than happy to share some time and maybe learn a little bit from each other. So feel free to take the reins and ask a question or two.
Yeah, there's nothing more nicer than a good cultural exchange of knowledge and information. It enriches both parts, both sides. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's enjoy it, and then try to tease out whether or not the Earth is a flat, stationary plane, or is it a ball hurtling through the universe at 2.2 million miles per hour, covering 19.2 billion miles in a year, and all those stars are in the same place. Are we really moving? There you go.
So my question is how often do they have to flush the transmission fluid if it's going 2.2 million miles an hour?
Yeah, that's a great question, isn't it? Well, that transmission fluid would be like water, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
I've only 100,000 miles and I had to change my transmission fluid.
It came out like creamed coffee, didn't it? It's quite amazing what the transmission oil does, and as it saves the moving parts, isn't it? Yeah? How robust and tough that oil is, because it's going under a lot of pressure at a lot of revs.
Somebody once told me that the engine in your car is actually really simple. And every other moving part on your car.
Can y'all go to another room and talk about that stuff? We're trying to wait for people to actually come and ask questions about the globe, and y'all keep filling the airwaves and stuff. They're probably gonna feel a little pressured not to interrupt y'all. So if y'all want to talk to each other, y'all please go to another room. I really appreciate it.
Maybe we can start inviting people to talk. So who have we got? We've got Big Willie. I don't know if... Oh, he's gone. That's fine. We've got Dan Jr. Welcome to the channel, Dan. Are you there? Don't be shy. Say hi. You've got a panel of flat earthers here ready to discuss, answer your questions. Might be people here wondering, are we real flat earthers? Is this serious? Yes, it's very serious. This is not a troll or meme channel.
I did all that. You're repeating exactly what I did about, for the last 10 minutes before we started talking. Excellent work. Yeah, excellent. So that's good.
That's all right. We'll give him another chance. Croissant, are you there?
Yeah, croissant. I love croissants.
I had one of those this morning.
Yes, I used to like mine with marmalade. A little bit of butter and marmalade. Hot from the oven. Beautiful. Wow. Yeah. I can eat 10 in one go. I can eat 10 at a time like
that. It's easily done. Croissant, you're pretty popular in here. Are you there? Did you want to speak up? Nope, Croissant. Feel free to ask any questions, jump in any time. Or Bennett, we've got Bennett in the house. Oh, who's that?
Hello, guys.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Abdurrahman.
Did you say Abdul?
Yeah, Abdurrahman.
Abdul, okay. How are you? Welcome to the channel.
I'm fine. Thanks. Guys, are you believing in the flat earth or something like that?
Yeah, we're flat earthers. There's quite a few of us here today, actually. So you're in the presence of quite a few flat earthers. But we would argue it's not a belief, my friend. So, and that's not through arrogance, I assure you. We have been in this arena for a very long time, and what we would like to do is confirm to you and hopefully help you realize that the Earth is measured, observed, treated, and utilized as flat and stationary. So it doesn't matter where we take the conversation. You'll find that's how nature provides. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
First question.
So, first of all, this is my first time talk with people who believe in the flat Earth. I have never talked with someone before about this topic. This is kind of new, actually. And if you, I really want you to explain to me why do you believe in the flat Earth, but please make it simple because my English is not too advanced. It's intermediate. So go ahead.
Yeah, by the way, I've got a call, if somebody can jump in.
Yeah, I can take that over from there if you like, Roots, and then when you come back, you can resume, okay? So, Abdul Rahman, my name is Jin CBR1. Assalamu alaikum to you, and I appreciate that you came in, okay? Right, and I will speak very slowly and very basic. You asked the question, why do we believe in the flat Earth? Okay.
Yeah.
First point is we don't believe in the flat Earth. We know the Earth is flat because we have gone out into nature and measure the curvature of the Earth, because the Earth is meant oblate spheroid. Is that correct? Oblate spheroid?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the oblate spheroid, it means it has some curvature, doesn't it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, you agree. Good. So that if the curvature is there, it means we must be able to measure. Do you?
Sorry, but your voice is cutting out.
Okay, I apologize. I said if the curvature of the Earth is there, we should be able to measure it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now this. Okay, now the circumference, the size of the Earth, the circumference is 24,901 miles circumference. And the radius is meant to be 3,959 miles. Now, with two numbers,
sorry, guys. Do anyone hear his voice not clear? Is the problem because of my internet?
Yeah, your internet.
No, he's
Oh,
breaking
okay.
up. Jen is definitely breaking up because he did cut off for me as well.
Okay.
AV,
So
are
it's
you
my
there, AV?
yeah.
I can go. I can
Yeah,
talk
you
to him.
go, Crit. Go ahead, Crit. Go ahead.
All right. So who do we got here? Is it who was talking?
It's me, Abdurrahman.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't really see your name there. I'm not sure I can pronounce that. So I
Okay,
think
go
I
ahead.
just cut 82. Is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so what you're looking for is why would people believe the earth is flat? And the answer to that is it's not a belief. Belief is not required.
Okay.
It is the earth is what the earth is, and your belief or anyone's belief will not change that. There are facts and there
Yeah, we
are
are talking
fiction.
about the facts.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that earth is observably, measurably, and practically used as flat and stationary. Believing that otherwise doesn't change it, will not make the world suddenly a magic space ball, lava filled, water covered space ball. People can believe all kinds of crazy shit. It doesn't make it reality. The reality of the situation is belief is not required. The surface of the earth can be described as flat. The motion of the earth can be described as stationary. The earth is both flat and stationary.
So we are talking about the facts. Okay. Can you tell me the facts that make you like realize that the earth is flat?
Yeah, so the fact would be the surface of the earth is flat. Do we observe it? What do you observe the earth? You take a look, take a gander, what do you see?
So when you like to go to the sea and you see the sunset, what is the fact that makes the why is the sun go under the water but it's not?
Do you see it do that? Do you see the sun go underneath the water?
Yeah.
This might be a problem. Where did you see that at?
When you go to the sea, in the last line that you could see, the sun is go down, right? It's not like the sun is not just disappear, it's go down.
Okay, yeah, where did you see this happen?
What did you say?
Where did you see this happen? You saw this happen somewhere. Where do you
I mean, everyone can see this thing. When you go to somewhere without any building, okay, where's just the sun and the ground, or the sun or the sun and the sea, you can say that sun is not just disappear and the moon comes out. No, you see the sun like go down, right? And after that it disappear. So what you can say about this thing?
Okay, so when you see the sun disappear, that causes a curve of Earth to appear or disappear.
Do you mean my answer?
Yeah, so you're looking at the sun. I see the sun too. The sun moves across the sky, then the sun disappears. At what point did the curve of the Earth appear?
I mean, in some point, the sun will be close to the ground, and one by one, it will disappear, right? It will goes down. So, how can you like explain that in the Earth, in the that the Earth is flat? How can you explain that?
Well, exactly what you see is what you get. The sun moves across the sky and then disappears.
Like the sun is basically go down. It's not the Earth.
No.
Like go in.
They posted some videos on the chat, some not videos, but some memes.
Yeah, some gifs there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to see if this guy would look at what, give an observation here, but rather than saying, I saw the sun do something, therefore explain that on a flat Earth, when you could, he saw it on the flat Earth. You'd have to explain it on a globe. Where did this curve of the Earth happen? You saw the sun move. You're going to tell me the sun isn't moving. It's stationary. It's the Earth that's rotating. Where did you get that from? Because I saw the sun move, you saw the sun move, and no one saw anything different than that. Where did you get more than that? Where did you get +1?
So you're asking, why do I believe that the Earth is like go in circle around the sun? It's from school. All of the people go to the school, and they study that thing.
That's it? So you went to school and someone told you, if you see something moving, it's actually not moving.
No.
When you
it's not
see
like
something
that.
moving, it's stationary. You're moving.
I mean, they explain it, and I make it sense. Like I find it sense.
All right, so you just believe that then?
So if it's wrong, what is the benefit of the countries and the whole world, like the scientists, and what is the benefit of lying on the people and tell them no, the Earth is not flat, it's circle? Why do the scientists do that?
Yeah, what scientists do you see doing that? Do you know one? Do you know a scientist who says that the Earth is not flat?
I mean, in whole countries. My question is, why do the countries lying on the people and tell them, no, the Earth is flat? What is the benefit of that? Why do the countries like lying?
Can I interject? Why are you asking that question before establishing whether the Earth is curving or not? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the motive is. Either the Earth is curving and spinning, or it's not. Then maybe you can think about that to yourself. I wonder why. But before you wonder why, we should really establish whether the Earth is curving and spinning. Do you not think it's more important to discuss the evidence
my problem
before
is
the motive?
No. Actually, my problem is not because like jump in another point, because I do not want to like have a conversation about the first point. My problem is I didn't get you guys, and that is the problem. And if I can get you, I can like agree or disagree.
So you do have a problem as a glober, as a believer, like Crit was trying to explain to you.
I mean,
you believe something.
No. My problem is my English is not that good, so I couldn't understand him when he trying to explain to me 100%.
All right, so let's recap. I don't know whether Crit touched on this, but the reason why we know the Earth is not a spinning, curving ball is because all observations, all industry, all experience with the Earth will show you that there is no curvature, that there is no motion.
For example?
For example, the Earth must be curving, correct?
Correct.
So we have long distance observations, we have laser tests, we have long range photography. We have multiple observations we could show you now to prove to you that the Earth isn't curving. So when you look into this, you will find that even in the mainstream narrative, they'll tell you you cannot measure the curve of the Earth. So officially, there's no direct evidence for curvature. Were you aware of that?
So, until now, I didn't read any topic about the flat Earth or the circle Earth. So,
Okay.
in the first place, I don't have a lot of information about it, So
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's not something
And
you'll come across unless you question
yeah,
the
and
evidence.
in the and why did I came here? Not to prove that you are wrong or that I'm right, because I don't have a lot of information.
My friend, I'm not
So-
questioning your motive. I would be
I
doing.
know.
I would be
I
doing
know.
exactly
I'm
what I
just
told you
trying-
not to do. I'm trying not to question motive. What I'm trying to question
I'm trying to
is the
understand
claims.
actually you guys. Yeah.
So we have claims on the table. The claims are that the Earth is curving and that the Earth is spinning, rotating, right? You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, we have no evidence for curvature or rotation. How can this be? How can there be no evidence? Now, I know you haven't looked into it, but just for the moment, take my word for it. There is no direct evidence for curvature, and there is no direct evidence or optical observation you can make to prove that the Earth is spinning. Whether you're in the building industry, the aerodynamics industry, we treat the Earth as flat and non-rotating. We also treat the atmosphere as a non-rotating part of the Earth as well. So we have no evidence for curvature or motion. Do you find that interesting?
But are you sure that we don't have any proof that the Earth is a circle?
100%. There is no direct evidence for the Earth being a ball.
Okay, can you give me like a paper I can read?
How about I give you an observation? So the Earth itself is claimed to be a ball, and that ball is claimed to be a specific size. If the Earth is not this size, then the whole heliocentric model, which is built off the assumption of the size, is wrong. It means that the distances to the heavenly bodies that they claim would be wrong. It means the orbits would be wrong. The gravitational, so-called gravitational numbers would be wrong. Everything would be wrong. The distance, the rate at which things disappear on the horizon would be wrong. So everything would be wrong if this ball is not the size or thereabouts what they say. So I'm going to share with you an observation in the side chat here to prove to you that the Earth isn't curving, and actually we can break the curvature rate by thousands of %. Now, this is a problem because the globe doesn't present itself in nature, so it's a positive claim. And that if you make a positive claim that is not self-evident, then you're going to need evidence to be able to establish it as a fact. You can't turn to me and say unicorns are real because we don't have any evidence of unicorns. Do you follow me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Right. So look in the side chat. I've just posted an image. Now, this image is accompanied by a table. Ignore the table with the globe on it for now. Just look at the image. When you look at the image, we've got basically 2 oil rigs off the shore. These are known landmarks. Platform Habitat, Platform Hill House. I don't remember the exact location, but if you Google them, they are real landmarks, and you can actually, just through Google, you can determine how far these are claimed by Google, so you'll have to trust the coordinate system. But take my word for it, these are real oil platforms. Okay? Now, in this observation, these two platforms are approximately 9.4 miles and 6.1 miles away from the shore. Now, if we live on a ball with a radius of 3959, then the actual horizon, which would be the point where the Earth is curving away from you, that would need to be from this height, from this level of elevation that they've taken the image, which is 1 foot. This would the horizon would have to be starting to curve, which means the geometric horizon would be the curvature of the Earth. So the Earth would start curving away from you at about 1.2 miles. So after, let's say, 10 miles, you'd expect 66 feet of curvature, which means there's a drop, a decrease in elevation in the distance. So this second oil rig that you see at 9.4 miles should be about 60 feet behind the curve. 60 feet behind the curve. Now that means that would be physically blocked. We're not talking about an optical horizon now. We're talking about your globe. Your globe has a geometric physical horizon. Now that second oil rig is 66, apparently 66 feet behind. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say something. So you are saying something like that since the buildings are like far away, and I shouldn't be able to see them according to the theory of the round or circle Earth, right?
No, you shouldn't be able to see these.
Yeah. So, yeah, I understand you.
And you know why, right? Because the curve is a physical block. Everything behind that is hiding behind a hill. Think of it as a hill. And the hill goes down in elevation the further you go from this observer's position. So we can see the horizon. I'll ask you a question. Where is the horizon on this picture?
The horizon is like last thing I can see.
Behind the second oil rig, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And do you know where it should be? I did tell you, but do you remember where I said it should be?
It should be like before the two buildings.
Yeah. The Earth should be curving at about 1.2 miles, and every mile after that, there is what's called a parabolic curve, a parabolic drop. So there would be more and more curvature because the calculation, if you get an Earth curve calculator, you'll find out that the rate of drop would be 8 inches per mile squared. So at 10 miles, which is about where the second oil rig is, that should be hidden by 66 feet of drop. How is this possible on a ball?
Refraction. Yeah, it's not make any sense actually. If the horizon is supposed to be in 1.22 miles, and if I can see something too far, like 6 miles or 9. What did you say?
Who's that?
The answer is refraction.
Refraction?
Yeah, he answered. Refraction.
So just hold on a sec. Let me address this. So define to me what refraction is.
When light bends on its trajectory, when light bends.
And what's required for refraction?
Two mediums, two different mediums.
The medium in which it travels.
Right.
Well,
okay.
I don't know what it means by medium.
So you need a boundary. You need a boundary between two mediums. Okay, and the light will refract based on those two mediums at a certain angle. Now, what we're seeing is we're seeing a clear image here of 10 miles without extreme effects that you're claiming. We don't see we don't see two mediums, and we don't have a boundary. We have the atmosphere.
No, hang on. You mentioned a boundary. You know that, above sea level, I mean, the concentration of water in the air is higher than in a dry place, right? So particles in the air, particles of water in the air, help, light refract.
Oh, it's supposed to be two mediums,
that's why
they're supposed to be of two different indexes.
That's why this happens in
How many
in the
different
sea.
indexes is there in the medium of air, man?
Okay.
How many different types of indexes are in the medium of air? Because it's supposed to be two mediums, so two different type of indexes.
There's not supposed to be two. It's diffuse.
No.
I mean,
have you not read Snell's law?
Hang on.
The law of refraction?
Hang on. The concentration of water in the air is not the same everywhere.
Can you go read Snell's law, the law of refraction?
Bring it up.
I'm asking you to read it.
No, bring it up. You're the one that bring it.
Yeah, go. I'm asking you to read it. I don't want you. I don't want to say. I don't want. Listen, man. Listen. You're talking and not listening, man. You're talking and not listening. You're talking and not listening. I don't want to meet you, man.
You are doing exactly that.
Again, bro. I'm asking you to listen.
I asked you a question.
The problem is leaving refraction out of the equation, right? We are not in an environment in which everything is black and white.
Well, we don't leave standard refraction out of the equation. Even if you include refraction, you wouldn't expect that level of refraction unless you're talking about superlooming.
Yeah, no, but again, he needs to read the law of refraction.
To hear the gentleman and see what he's. Yeah, hold on a second. What's he even claiming? It just sounds like he said a buzzword and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe we can hear what he's got to say about it. Perhaps there lies the problem.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm asking him to look up something, and he still wants to continue talking more people. When I'm asking him to go read the law of refraction, just the definition of it, he wouldn't want to do that. And I don't want to read it out for him because they're only going to say, "Oh, that's what you're saying." I want him to look it up for himself.
I don't think he knows. But I'm interested in letting him dig his own grave because what he's going to be claiming is superlooming. Now, I can share in the chat an image of superlooming, and there are certain effects that you would expect to see. We don't see that in this image. So he's claiming that's happening through standard refraction.
Well, we don't. Yeah, I don't think I don't even know what point he's making, to be honest. Like he hasn't made one yet.
I already mentioned that you guys are ignoring it. I say that he's leaving refraction out of the
equation. You said refraction, but what is it, sir?
When he stated his case initially, what is it, sir? Hang on. When he stated his case initially, he was asking where the horizon should be, right?
Yeah, we understand that. What is refraction, sir?
I already explained. Refraction is when light bends because it's talking.
Can you tell us what it is, sir? Just tell us what it is.
I just said it.
What did you say?
I just said it. I said it from the beginning. What refraction is? It's basically light bending through a medium.
Okay, but how does it do so, accounting for the curvature? Go ahead.
The degree to which it refracts depends on the medium, and in this case, the concentration of water in the air, right, close to sea level is not the same as, for example, the concentration of water in the air, like at a dry.
How much water are we talking about? How much water in the air are we talking about? Parts per million, sir. How much water?
Well, you want to get the right numbers? I mean, we can bring a tool for that. But
let's see it. Let's show your work. I want you to show the people your work, sir. I want to see what you're talking about.
You're going to have to hang on because there's a tool for that.
Okay.
And I can bring it up. Hang on. And the
Yeah,
thing
build
is,
your case up by showing us some facts.
I would agree, again, I would agree with him if we leave refraction out of the
Show us your
equation.
work.
That's not the case.
Show us
Again,
your
if
work,
it
sir.
doesn't work,
Sir,
it's just
show
like
us your work.
everything crosses
Less
through it
talking and more
and
showing,
nothing
sir.
bends, right?
You're still talking.
Show us your work. Show us your work where you've accounted for the curvature of the earth.
Hang on, I just got home. Hang on. Get out, log into my computer and everything. So give me a minute, please. And
One of the thing that in standard refraction, it's not about the horizon; it's about the objects on the horizon.
come again.
Yeah, we're not seeing any of the hallmarks
I
of
want to see what he's going
superluminary.
to present.
Yeah, you're not gonna see anything because you just got here. Give me a couple of minutes, guys. God damn it. All right. Turning my computer on. I'm on the phone.
I think he's gonna Google it.
No, I'm not gonna Google it. I'm gonna check my bookmarks and see if I have the bookmark of the website that actually does a whole calculation. We can find lots of examples there. Hopefully, to still have it.
By the way, I hope you know that you showing us it's not going to be the end. There's still going to be the critique of what we got to look into your work about.
Yeah, yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
You can do that. It's not
Okay,
my work.
go
I
for
don't have to do that many, but still.
I wonder what's gonna be the index of the refraction here.
All right, I got the website. I just need to open Discord on a computer and switch to it. Hang on. Okay. Give me a minute to switch my headphones to my computer. And now I should be able to switch to my computer. Hang on.
Now I'm getting a glass of milk, pouring some milk in my glass as I now lay my peanut butter and jelly sandwich down on my table. Okay. So he interrupted the conversation that we were having, a lovely one, actually, between Ruth and the other guy.
He's used a buzzword that he can't back up, so now we're here stuck in limbo.
I guarantee you what he's eating right now isn't cereal, it's Pro.
It's going to be dirt soon.
The gentleman has at least 2 more minutes, and then we're going to switch back to the other conversation. You got 2 minutes. Take your time. Just hurry up.
As I'm sitting here waiting patiently in anticipation, holding my mobile phone and spinning on my executive seat.
Okay, now I'm putting on my good headphones. I'm staring at my screen. Like, dude, he's just giving us play-by-play of stalling for time. Somebody that knew this information outhand would just be like, this is how it's done. I'm going to talk about the method. You can look for it on this specific website. Everything locked and loaded.
Yeah. He's
These are the antics of a desperate baller.
Yeah. Currently speed reading, I would hasten to add.
Yeah, probably so. The gentleman has 1 minute. And then we're moving on.
Yeah. We do apologize for the interruption, but sometimes these interruptions do yield some gold. We'll see. We get gold in a moment or two.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, it's like I just got here and I needed to reset up my headphones, reconnect them to the computer. Haven't used them directly in the computer for a little while. Okay. So I used this tool a long time ago. I remember seeing that example there. It's been a while, right? But
Let me just tell the audience. Let me just preface the audience, giving them the information of what you just posted. It's now posted Walter Bisland's Earth Curve calculator. Looks like. So go ahead, sir.
That is basically a tool that you can you enter the corresponding parameters, and it will give you the eye level, based on the data that you input.
Now, the important thing about this tool is that it's actually putting a variable with the distance in mind, right? So according to the distance, you should see, or not see, I should say, something in the distance based on that the Earth is blocking the viewer from seeing it. Would you agree with that? Based on the tool.
Can you explain that again? Make sure that I got it right.
So somebody making a long distance observation will either see or not see something in the target distance. Is this correct?
Depending on the parameters that you input, yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you one simple question, and it's either yes or no. Have you checked using this tool?
A long time ago, yes. It also a lot of mathematical.
What did you? Okay, yeah, that's fine. What did you check using this tool?
What did I check? The equations, for calculating refraction and other variables involved in this. Again, if you take a look at the page, it even explains the different things that it uses there. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so let me make it more clear. What in the field did you test? What long distance observation did you check using this tool?
Well, you mean going to the place and check and taking into account this and this and that? I mean, I've never been to that place.
Okay.
I don't have to be in a specific place.
Okay, so hold on to it.
I don't have to be.
Yeah, hold on to it. Let me just interrupt. This is important. This is the important factor. The reason why we're asking is because we're actually utilizing that tool against the physical world. So you have to go outside and check. And if you haven't done so, then you're only going based on the assumption that the tool is working as it should.
Okay, have you gone to those specific places that you're mentioning and make them the measurements there?
I didn't make a claim, sir. You did. I'm going based. I'm critiquing. I'm critiquing. Listen, sir. Sir, I'm only critiquing. Sir, relax. Relax.
So if
I'm only critiquing that you use this tool, sir. So just settle down for a second. I'm only critiquing the fact that you put this tool in the text chat, yet you haven't tested the tool in the physical world, which means that the tool that you're mentioning or putting in there may or may not yield results. You don't know that. You haven't checked. So the important factor here is, sir, the important factor here is you need to check using that tool, verifying that the tool is correct. You haven't done so, so you can't make the claim that the Earth is abiding by this tool. Currently. I'll let somebody else pick up the point.
Look.
I got to get back to it.
You guys are doing exactly the same thing that you are trying to accuse me of. When you mention an example, which is the one that I responded to when you guys were explaining this thing about the curvature of the Earth and where the horizon should be, you guys are using an example to say this is the way it should be. And if you are asking me to be in that place to check that myself, you have to have done that already.
No, what we're saying is that you're the one that made the claim that this tool. You're the one that makes the claim that this tool gives you the information and you need it. But you still haven't checked. In other words, you haven't gone there and checked or anywhere. Now you didn't have to be there. In other words, he's asking you to go to anywhere and test if this thing is actually correct. In other words, check the refraction index, check the temperature, which is supposedly in there, and check if it matches up to reality or does it work. Because you're just saying this tool works because it's, I put some input and made it look the way it did, and therefore there you go, it works. I mean, I could make that.
What are your measurements, and how do you?
Here's a critical question for my team: doesn't a gradient index change the path of light?
Yeah, of course it does, and that's why I wanted to ask him what refraction he's referring to.
Right. Well, that's what he's getting at. So, can we now move forward?
Yeah, I would say it doesn't change the path of light. It's gonna the light's gonna do what it does, but your ability to perceive
steep gradient index radically changes the path of light, Crit.
Yeah, I mean your ability to perceive it is what's being changed. The way your eye
it
works
physically moves it from one place to another.
Right, but standard refraction doesn't account for 66 feet, though, Amish.
Well, I know that's where this needs to go. Because leaving this open-ended doesn't resolve
in terms
anything.
of degrees. How much?
Yeah, well, he's making a claim and he can't back it up. That's the whole thing.
Well, I took a step back to let Alpha step in, but I was asking him what refraction are you claiming? Because you're going to have to claim a specific refraction. Standard refraction doesn't cover 66 feet.
Yeah, he's claiming atmospheric refraction, which is an optical density gradient, right? It's a refractive index gradient that's caused by temperature differentials, right? So if you have, that's what mirages are. Okay, and none of it can account for these observations that we're making, but it does exist. What's that?
You're saying that the mirage effect cannot account for this. How do you know that?
Because we don't see the hallmarks.
Once we start getting huge differences in the refractive index gradient, right, we start having mirages, and they're very obvious. You don't see miraging effects in these observations.
And
one of the key indicators of miraging is a loss of fidelity in the image. We don't have a loss of fidelity in the image.
And if you look at Andrew Thomas John, all the claims of refractions and superlumen, looming, and all the other ones, stooping and sinking, all has to do with objects on the horizon, not the horizon itself.
Right, and you wouldn't get a horizon behind that image.
Okay, so if we go and look at the Black Swan, for example, one day the horizon will look like it's in a different place than on a different day. So obviously there's something going on there, and that would be caused by the refractive index differential, right? Which is caused by temperature differences. Okay, so that's why the horizon's apparent, because it does move around.
Exactly.
We can't say that looming and sinking and these things don't affect the horizon, because if you look up the definition of sinking, right, it says that it usually happens on clear days, right, like we see in that white swan image, and it makes the horizon appear much closer than what it would in the absence of that particular miraging effect. So it definitely does affect the horizon as well. It affects everything you're looking at.
Yep.
Yet earlier, what I was talking about too is that not all of it. Like you could use this like IR sensors and see further. The certain light moves through the medium without being stopped. Some light refracts, some light is absorbed. It's a very dynamic thing happening with light that is really not fully understood. And anyone who tries to use a lens to narrow the scope, they end up with more questions than answers.
Well, there goes your idea that boats go over the physical Earth curve.
So you can't claim superlooming because the horizon is behind that image. We're not seeing any of the hallmarks of the miraging effects that would be needed to claim that level of superlooming. We're seeing pure continuity from the point of observation to the horizon. The only refraction we're seeing is a little bit of heat distortion in the distance. That can be accounted for. So,
tell you what else we're not seeing.
So how do you make the calculations?
We're not seeing the curvature that's claimed to be there. That's what we're not seeing.
Right.
Yeah, so the guy interrupted the chat that was happening previously. The younger guy who was really taking these questions, really seeing our point of view, just to say that refraction is the reason why seeing long distance, the Earth is a globe. But he hasn't presented, with the Walter Bislin's calculator, he hasn't presented how he knows that information is true. He wasn't able to. There was no field test done. So he can't even claim anything about it to even go into the discussion of what light is doing using refraction. So yeah, he's kind of like, he's only thinking that people have made this information true based on like what other people are saying on the internet. So he doesn't know what he's talking about to even get into what refraction is. And I proved that because he just put in Walter Bislin's calculator and he says, well, just based on this, it makes it so.
The main issue he has too, like, thanks Walter, that flips the image upside down each time it superlooms. And if you count the number of times it superlooms in his own model, it's like 7, or I can't remember exactly. It's an odd number. It was like 7 or 13 or something. So based on the Walter Bislin model, those oil rigs should appear upside down, not right side up.
What? Did you make the calculations to come to that conclusion?
Yeah, look, he does a ray tracing based off a video game. And if you look at the very top, after he gets done, he says, this is the path of light. It shows the top going to the bottom and the bottom going to the top. It flipped the image upside down.
Yeah, so Slipknot, the interesting thing
What
is
exactly are you looking
the information. Hold on a second.
You're saying that thing again, but you're not saying how, if you actually made the calculations.
Bro,
look,
Slipknot,
there's a little problem here.
You're on the offense. Hold on, sir.
Real quick.
Yeah, you're on the offense right now because you think. No, there's not a problem. The problem is you don't understand. That's the whole issue right now. So there's nothing going to be able to be presented to you because you don't understand. So your retorts are only coming out sounding like ignorance. You don't know what's going on. So you're only using. Yes. So if you understand, okay. You tell. All right. Just say no. I'm going to give you a chance. Just wait. Just wait. No, I told you to wait.
Hang on,
dude.
Hang on. You guys are making explanations, and you are not proving how you came to that conclusion. It's a.
Yeah, just yield for a second. All right. I wanted you to just wait. Okay. So I was going to tell you. I'm going to give you the floor so you can tell people what refraction is. You can tell them what it is, so that everybody can hear you clearly. What is it to tell to us what it is?
And I repeated it, and you guys are still ignoring it.
You were muted. You got to pay attention to your mic, dude.
You've got the floor. What type of refraction are you invoking?
So which one is it? Because again, when you
We're
guys
asking you. We're asking you.
I explain. Okay, you're interrupting now. When you guys asked me from the very
He's not
beginning,
listening.
when I made a comment in the very beginning, you guys, I answered what.
Look at your mic, Slipknot. Just take a minute. Look at your mic. Okay, so we're going to reset. We're asking you the question, what type of refraction are you talking about? Now's the time for you to actually tell us what you mean, okay?
I already mentioned that, and someone else mentioned it as well. It's atmospheric refraction, right? It's the refraction caused by the atmosphere, which is the medium that the light is traveling through, right? It's not traveling through water itself, like going in the over sea level.
Yeah,
right?
we get that's a generic answer. That's very generic, right? That's a generic answer, but more specifically, what type of refraction? There's a type, sir. Yeah, you can't be generic the way in what you say. You have to be hyper specific.
How many types of atmospheric refractions are?
Yeah.
You can't make it sound like
somebody told you if you were listening rather than talking constantly, somebody actually listed them for you, and someone's actually already told you what you would need to invoke to be able to have this type of observation, but you wasn't listening. We've actually given you the answer already, and we're ready to rebut it anyway because we do not see the whole, and we do not see what you would expect to see in that type of refraction. But you're not prepared to answer this question.
Let me ask you, what calculations have you made to come to your conclusion?
No, you're turning the question around to us, so we're asking you this.
You guys were presenting a case when I joined the channel.
He's latched on to a burden of proof reversal, and he's not going to let go until somebody actually just talks to him, and he's just going to be on the offense. He's going to be on the offense, and he's never going to let go.
It wouldn't save him anyway. The calculations we've done are regarding. Listen, the calculations we've done are in question of the geometric horizon.
All right, please show me the calculations.
Yeah, if the Earth is a ball, then there should be a geometric horizon from a 1 foot observer height at 1.2 miles, and that would would increase over distance. So the decrease in elevation over the distance would mean the second oil rig would be about 60 feet behind a physical curve. So we're talking about the horizon. We're talking about, so when an object's superlooming, right, it doesn't loom the horizon behind it.
You're ignoring
it looms the object. We're talking about a horizon behind the object you're calling a mirage.
You're ignoring my request.
You're not listening.
He's not.
You're not listening.
What you're claiming isn't what we're seeing. We're talking about a horizon behind the object you're claiming is a superloomed mirage.
I am not asking.
I can share with you. I can share with you observations of superlooming now. The horizon doesn't loom up behind it. It's not how it works.
Look,
the horizon will appear in front of the object that's loomed.
Roots, hang on. I am not asking you for your explanation. I am asking for the equations that you came up with, right?
There is no equations for mirages, bro.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Pump the brakes. What do you think the equation is right now? What's the current equation? Okay, what's the current equation on the table?
He doesn't know. Bro. Hey, listen, bro. I want to answer you. If you stop talking, I want to answer you. I want to answer your fucking question, bro. There's no single equations for every different type of mirage, right? There's only descriptions of them. There's a standard formula for terrestrial refraction, which, whether you realize it or not, is what you're trying to invoke. And it's 7/6R, 7/6 of the radius value of the Earth that they claim exists. That's your special refraction. Not some sort of optical thing that's taking place, not any prediction of how the light's traveling through the air. It's all just assumed and given a standard basic value of 7/6 of the radius. That's it.
You have to use that in a calculation in which we take into account the distance from one of you.
Your mic is hold on. Your mic is trashed, dude. Fix your mic.
Right?
It's sounding really bad right now. Your microphone.
Sounded better. Does it sound better now?
A little bit, yeah. You were just had buzzing noise when you were talking.
Oh, that's weird. Now, again, I mean, you're mentioning one specific detail that would be used in an equation, right? So, what I want to see is the equation in which you took into account the distance between like, the point of view.
Okay, yeah, that's the problem. That seems to be the issue. That seems to be the issue. You think that we're making a. You're asking us for the equation. Right, I get it. The problem is it's your dude, Slipknot. It's your claim, sir. This is your claim. Why are we telling you the thing you should be telling us? You don't understand that. You keep asking us, what's your equation? You're asking us. The problem is here is that you are the one that has the claim that the Earth is, according to you, a globe because of refraction.
Hang on. You had a claim when I joined them.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go again. Dude, it is. You think it's a globe?
You make it sound like somebody joined this channel, and I said,
right.
Yeah, he thinks we're the ones making a claim. Dude, he came in here, interrupted a conversation between Roots and this other young man that was in here, so that he could say the reason why long distance observations happen the way they do because of refraction. He made the claim. Now he's turning it around, saying that we need to explain to him. Mm-hmm. This is the slippery sophist, redirection that he's going to do. You know what I mean? And then everybody in here is going to be on their heels because he's going to keep being on the offense.
Exactly, because he can't back it up with anything more than the buzzword itself. He doesn't know. He hasn't looked into any of this.
I don't mind if he spurgs out, but he has to at least shoulder the claim. That's all. Just shoulder the claim and tell us what you think about, any equations that you know about it. This is not our claim, it's yours.
Yeah, it's interesting. He didn't even know 7/6R. He did, you asked him about it. What is the equation on the table right now? And he didn't even know the current equation. Then asked for what your equation would be.
Yep. That was astonishing. I'm going to go.
Yeah, it's quite breathtaking that he's asking for something that has been given to him, so he should have it in hand now. He said, this is my equation, 7/6R. What would be the equation on a flat Earth? How would you account for this? Or something along those lines, but he's stuck. His brain's stuck because he was asked to say what type of refraction would account for more than 7/6R, and he's just stuck now because he doesn't know. He didn't know what he should have said in the first place.
And we don't need one because we're not making a claim about the horizon in any way, like proving that its distance anyway, at least, that it's proving anything about flat Earth. Right? It's just the limitation of your view of the surface.
I'm trying to reset him so that he can go from the start. Okay, now it's your claim. Give us your information so you can support that it's refraction. Go ahead, Slipknot.
Again, I think you guys are going to ignore what I'm requesting, right?
Yeah, a burden of proof is not going to be the thing that we're going to talk about. It's your claim. Stand by it.
What exactly are you asking for? How about this? To show we know what you're asking for, say what you've got right now. What do you have right now?
Hang on. I responded to the claim that
what do you have right now?
And that you were trying to prove.
Okay, what do you have right now? What's the current answer you have right now?
I initially responded to the claim that you guys made.
What is the current answer you have right now? What's your current answer right now?
Again, I responded to the claim that you guys were making.
What is the answer you have right now? You've got a request that you think you have this. If globe, you have this answer. If globe, what is that answer right now?
Let me finish.
Okay, you don't need to finish. Just tell me what your current answer is. What's your current answer? You don't need to ask again. You don't need to ask again. I know what the question is.
Every single
You said
time
it over and over again. Yeah, you don't need to tell me the question again. Just tell me what your current answer is. Was your current equation that you used to figure out refraction over this distance? Is
That's
it
what I asked.
7 over 6R, or is it not 7 over 6R?
That's exactly what I asked you for. And the moment I asked for an equation, you're trying to flip the coin.
It's not our
No
coin. What
coin
are you
being
talking
flipped
about?
here.
You're the one flipping
I
the coin.
asked.
What is your current answer? What's your current answer? What's the current answer? What's your
See what he's
current?
doing?
What's your current? Okay, you're right now. You've got an equation that you think you have in hand. If globe, you want to see the same equation. If flat Earth, what is your current equation? Is it
That's what I was
7 over 6R? Is your equation 7 over 6R, or is it not? Is it not that? Is it something other than 7 over 6R? What is your current answer?
I'm just gonna hold him a little bit. We got a special guest. Indio's back, baby.
Where the hell has he been, man? Was he banned or something?
I can't get into that right in the live stream. But yeah, I'm back. And this guy, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
Yeah,
they gave me an equation, buddy. Like what?
What? Okay,
Like,
so
what do you
I don't
want?
know. You just got it. Were you listening to the live stream, Indio? So basically, he interrupted a conversation. Roots was talking to this young guy, and the young guy was kind of like really getting along with Roots and hearing everything he's got to say. This guy came in and said the long distance observation does have to account for curvature because of the refraction. So he came in with that. Yet now he's saying that it's our claim. We are the ones that we need to give him an equation. I'm like, and he's not going to let go. He's just not going to let go. So he's gonna keep to that until somebody fully explains everything, so he can say nah to.
Okay, I'll bust it down for you. What's your name? Slipknot. Oh, he's muted. Well, I'm gonna unmute him real quick. Slipknot. I'll break it down for you. You gonna listen? You're gonna interrupt me.
I'll listen to the following. I will listen.
Okay, hold on. Are you gonna listen or not? If you just, I'll give you all your answers. I'll give you all the answers. Your numerous questions.
Can you
I'm gonna give you equations or whatever you want, dude. I'll give it all to you.
let me answer your initial question?
Why are
And
you
then you.
spurging out?
Oh boy,
Spurging out, man.
This is impossible. The moment I open my mouth.
Yeah, it's not impossible. Now I'm like, hey, I gotta give it to you. Now you're like, oh, I quit.
I didn't. Ben, seriously, I mean, come on.
Look, it's really simple.
You asked me.
Things, okay, I'm going to go from the beginning. Mirages, things like superior mirage, inferior mirage, those cannot be predicted by any equation. Those names are qualitative descriptions. They're not quantitative. Okay, so they don't have formulas for them. They just say, hey, superior mirage, we see the bottoms touching, right, and there's like a mirror image of it with the bottoms touching. That's a superior mirage. That's inferior. If it's the other way where the tops are touching, that's a superior mirage. If it's floating in the air over the horizon, that's a fata morgana. These are qualitative descriptions. They're not derived by equations. Now, you were given the formula for refraction. If you want the formula for the horizon distance, that's 1.22 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Okay, so now you have two equations. 1.22 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet should be the. So you get the observer's height, whatever it is, 10 feet, 20 feet, 100 feet. Punch it into the formula, and then you have the distance to the horizon, where it should be. That should be the distance away. Okay, but it's not at that distance. That's the argument. Comprende?
Let's see if the mouse takes cheese.
Okay. But did you finish?
So, I'm finished. Like, okay. I just want to see if you understand what I just said, if you're paying attention.
Okay.
Did I give you two formulas, yes or no? Let's just set it there. Did I just give you two formulas?
You gave me two small formulas. Yes, separately.
Yes. Okay.
Right? So what I want to know is like develop the equation. Like if you came to a specific conclusion, right? Just like anyone else will come to a conclusion by measuring, you should have proceeded to solve the equation, right? And you have maybe just one formula or more than one formula included in the whole equation, but you have to solve the equation and then come to a conclusion, get a result and then corroborate, right? So that's what I want to see, right? That's why I'm asking for the equation. Like, what is the equation you guys use? Can you share it in the chat? If not, that's fine.
These aren't. Listen, brother, you're confused. These aren't our equations.
Let me finish real quick, please. I gave you time and I didn't interrupt you. So please, I'm asking for the same, okay? So, if you guys developed an equation, and solved it and the whole thing and came to a conclusion and you say, okay, this doesn't match this thing that we're seeing here. That's what I would like to see. Now, if you tell me I don't have it right now, fine. That's okay. I'll come back tomorrow.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
T-Dub. Someone's freaking.
It's him.
Okay. They're not our. This is what's got you fucked up. They're not our equations. They're your equations. These are the globe equations. They're not ours. We didn't invent them, right? So they're based upon a radius value that they give us. And from that, we can calculate horizon distance based upon any observer height, what the drop is at any distance, right? If you want the formulas, okay, you want the horizon distance, d times this. Here, I'll post a website in the chat that does all these calculations, and it has all the formulas shown, right? So you can just look at them. This is what we use.
It's like the formulas of the one that I shared.
Yeah, so it'll calculate the horizon distance, it'll calculate the drop, how much something should be hit, and it'll calculate the tilt, dip, the sagitta, okay? You just punch in the observer height, object distance, the radius that you want to use. So you can use the 7/6R radius if you want, right? That is the so-called standard refraction correction. Even with the standard refraction correction, it doesn't move the horizon at all. It doesn't move at 10 miles. The radius for the Black Swan observation, the radius has to be like 300,000 miles.
By the way, your mic quality is amazing right now.
Yeah, I don't know why it changes this Bluetooth and.
No, he's talking about my mic.
Talking about his mic.
Oh, okay.
It's like the clearest and the smoothest. I mean, dude. And by the way, I don't mean to interrupt your conversation, Indio, but if you can go to that server that I shot you in the DMs.
Yeah, I saw it last night. Yeah, I was around last night, but I just didn't jump in. So yeah, I saw. I'll join it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if you have I just need 10 minutes or 20 minutes of your time because I just want to.
Oh, you want to do it now?
Well, I just want to talk to you for just a moment. So I don't know if maybe some of the other guys in there might.
You sent me the English hub. This one.
No, hell no. Hold on.
CB sent me the other one. CB sent me Frontline Unfiltered.
Yeah. Yeah, can I borrow you for 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
Yeah. Do you want to finish? Want me to finish with this guy?
Yeah. I mean, you finish, wrap it up or whatever here. It doesn't matter. I just need 10, 20 minutes of your time and, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I got all day. I got infinite time now. So in that link I just gave you is all the formulas you could ever possibly desire. Now we're testing the goal prediction. We're not testing a flat Earth prediction. See, we don't claim the horizon's a physical edge of anything. We know that the horizon moves around based upon the weather conditions of that day, right? So sometimes it'll appear closer or farther. There's no way to actually predict accurately what the horizon distance is going to be on any given day. But we don't claim that's possible. The globe claims that the horizon is the edge of a ball, that the sun sets behind, the ships go over, et cetera, right? So we can test that. And when we test it, it's not reality. It's literally as simple as that. So this isn't complicated stuff. This is like freaking 9th grade algebra. That might even be stretching it. It might be 7th grade algebra.
Okay, so I guess do you take a look at all the equations or formulas that are included in the page that I shared?
Hold on, I have to scroll up to find it. How long ago did you post it?
He posted Walter Bislin.
I can share it again. Don't worry. That's
yeah,
fine.
Walter Bislin. Yeah, he uses all the same shit. Though there are his image. Let's put it this way: he uses the same equations, but how he generates the images, it's got problems. But we don't even need to get into that. So, are you talking about a specific thing that Bislin's posted, like the Black Swan, with the 2 oil rigs? Because, like, if you go on, he has some presets in his calculator. So one of the presets is the oil rigs, but that preset to quote unquote match the oil rigs doesn't actually match the oil rigs because he does something in the render. It says draw distance, and it sets a draw distance at 10 kilometers. So if you increase that draw distance, you'll notice that there's basically a tidal wave behind the oil rigs that's taller than the oil rigs. So he's deceptively hiding that he actually can't use any of his equations or calculations to make this match anything.
You're saying that there's a tunnel in the image. How do you realize that, and how do you know how tall that is?
Well, I'll show you. You can look at it. Hold on a second. Okay, so Bislin has his like standard calculator. He has like a standard calculator, but then he has a calculator specifically that does ray tracing, right? And so it's to emulate refraction. So let me show you the one for the oil rigs. I'll post it in the chat. Fuck, I'm in the wrong chat. I posted the link in politics server. Freaking dumbass me. So this is for his ray tracing. Now, this is what it would have to do to make the oil rigs look like it is in the image he has. Now, if you notice that these rays are inverted, that means they would be upside down.
Indio, please hang on. Can you share the URL to the page where you took the screenshot, please?
Yeah.
That would be much easier because I can see the whole page.
Bislin has like I just said, he has three different calculators. He has a curve calculator, he has an advanced curve calculator, and he has a like a ray tracing render type thing.
I talked to him about this earlier and said that it flips the oil rig upside down, but he doesn't show that because he only shows the even number of ray tracings rather than like the opposite one that flips it upside down.
What he does is he clips the distance so that you can't see past the oil rigs. But if you remove that fog, you can see like show you, man. It's crazy, dude, what he did. He's a little scammer. CJ drew these little surfers on it. So you can see the water behind the oil rigs. If you remove the fog, you can see the water behind the oil rigs is taller than the oil rigs. There's like a tidal wave behind the oil rigs for some reason. Hold on, I'll just find another way. Hold on.
Is this essentially the same as like what Mick West does on his Metabunk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same shit.
Yeah, he does it slightly. you can go. Mick West has a YouTube channel where he goes over how it was programmed and his technique. How Vislin does it, he kind of goes over it, but he doesn't show like the methodology he does to actually trace array. So I don't want to get into it. So the way he does it, the way Mick West does it, he does like these. He takes a vertical line, makes an incremental step, and then some of the line is. I mean, this is actually in our debate with him. So some of the line will be in a lower or more dense, and so he'll rotate it. He'll rotate this thing to trace the array. It's kind of clever, but I don't know.
Yeah, here's a Mick West one. You see it where the two green dots are.
Okay, I found it. You don't hear me typing? This freaking thing is little.
Hell no, dude. I don't hear anything.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. Man, I'm rusty at this thing, man. What the hell?
Fucking rusty? What?
I'm rusty at searching and finding stuff. It's been a couple.
Oh, I thought I was like, man, I'm doing this. I was like, fucking. I was gonna say you can argue this in your sleep.
Yeah, so if you look at the one on the left, this like the image, you can see if you look closely behind it that the water is actually elevated. He does a couple tricks to hide that this is not actually correct. Because he's a dishonest schmuck. There's all sorts of other problems. I could go through his calculator for like an hour on all the crap that's wrong with it. But the basic things, but the basic things like horizon distance, hidden height, drop, things like that, those are all basically right. This is a specific like ray trace app that he programmed. But in order to get a quote unquote match to the Black Swan, he actually couldn't do it. And he has to hide the fact that he can't actually match it to the Black Swan. By hiding the fact that they would be inverted, the image would have to be inverted, and there would be a wall of water you could surf down behind the oil rigs. Well, a mirage of a wall of water behind the oil rigs that you could surf down.
Okay, so you shared the URL and you shared the picture that is included in the URL, the first one, which is the simulation itself.
Yeah.
What's the problem with the simulated images versus the real images?
Look at the image on the left.
On the simulated one, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Look close behind the oil rigs. Why is the water higher than the oil rigs? See
well, I wouldn't say that.
You can see a faint line right above so they got the platform on
the gray shade behind the rigs.
Yeah, that's water. Okay, so you can go into the simulation, and if you change the view distance from the 10 kilometers you made it to like 50 kilometers, so that you don't have this fog obscuring it, you can see that that's water. So the water horizon is higher than the back rig. I posted a screenshot of that too.
If I'm not mistaken, what Bislin's mentioning here is a layer of cold air between warm air. I don't think that gray shade that we see in the simulation and simulated image to the left, I don't think that is water there. I don't think he's saying that it's water. Like to the level, like almost to the top level.
It is water because I just posted an image with showing that it's water.
Wait.
No, I posted it. Sorry, I posted it in the wrong chat. Give me a second. I posted it in the wrong chat.
Just look at the original image we shared with you. It's most definitely water.
Yeah, so CJ drew two little surfers on it. Okay, you see it now?
Okay, where did this image come from?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I just that
This
website I
specific
just gave you.
image.
I
don't.
just gave you the website, bro.
It's that. No. Hang on. This last picture, I would assume that what you're saying is that this last picture is just a zoom in of the simulated image to the left.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'll get you in a link to the actual thing. Okay, tool platforms. So here. Here's the funny thing you guys always do. You hyperanalyze flat Earth. You never even for 1 second question the globe in your entire life. Not even for 1 millisecond.
No, well, I've questioned it.
No, you haven't. Not ever since you entered this chat, bro.
Not even for 1 millisecond did you ever question.
You've been on the offense this whole time. You've been on the offense this whole time, bro.
So I posted. Listen, buddy. I posted a link to the actual simulation where you can change all the variables in the rendering, right? So if you go onto the rendering tab, okay, and you go down to the one that says visibility, the default setting. I mean, there's another problem where he set the tilt at 0.1 degrees where it shouldn't be there either. It should be a level camera, but who cares about that? So it says, so if you click that link, so that has the render, right? So if you go to the rendering tab and you go where it says visibility, it says 25 kilometers. That's the default. That is to hide that big bulge of water that's behind the oil rigs. If you change that to like 100 kilometers, it becomes visible. I'll take a screenshot of that and post it. Oh, what the fine frick?
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, man.
Yeah, one second, dude.
Link in this channel.
Somehow something got deleted off my computer, my freaking image program.
Yeah, there's a conversation happening right now, Alex. So Indio's talking to Slipknot, which is a guy who's inquiring about what we're talking about. So yeah, if you have any questions, just hold on to him for a second.
I don't understand your topic about what you speak in this channel, but my English is not good. I'm learning.
I just posted it, India.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. Thanks. For some reason, the graphics program I use, the image program I use, is deleted off my computer, man. Like, someone stuck on my computer and deleted freaking. Why would they delete that? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, you have good pronunciations. It's your native speaker.
Yes, I am native English speaker. It's the only language I know. So you're doing better than me, man, because you can speak at least two.
Where are you from?
I'm in Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, good city. I see in Google picture Boston.
Oh, that's like Pai Mei from Kill Bill. Oh, you go with my PP. So Slipknot. So Evo posted the image that shows it. So it's obvious there's water behind it. This isn't a simulation of anything. Okay, and the fact he had to fiddle with it. Well, I think you're missing the important part. The point he had to do all these custom things just to make it even remotely like it, and then had to hide parts of it. That should tell you everything.
This image is different. This image is different from. I don't know if it's taken from exactly the same URL that you shared before. And
well, I posted another link that goes right to the simulator, right? You can go right on the simulator, change the visibility, and see that there's water higher than the oil rigs behind the oil rigs.
Yeah, but when you go to the simulator, click on oil platforms, and then go to bottom right to where it says the visibility, and change that to 100 instead of 25.
I think you all native speaker because I hear you and I don't understand what you speak. Maybe 20% I understand, and another I don't understand. You're very fluent and your pronunciations it's very good.
Because because you're joining in the middle of a conversation, you had to be here to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You're not even in the middle. You're near the end.
Just give us a second. Just give us a second. We'll talk to you in a minute.
All right, Alf, you still around?
Yeah, bro.
Where do you want to go into that server?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you guys take over. This guy's his brain is melting, so I'm gonna let his brain melt.
Sure.
I'll come back when it's puddled. So I mean, you've never questioned the globe for 1 second, for even 1 second.
How do you know that? How do you know? Do you have you like? Did you meet me when I was a child, and have you been like friends with me for like my whole life?
This is how far. Okay, yeah, this is how far you've questioned the globe. Mommy, can we dig to China? That's it. That's the only question you've ever asked.
So a strawman is what you've got.
Anyway, it was nice talking to you, buddy.
Strawman.
All right, see you over there, Indio.
All right.
What happened to Abdul Rahman? Is he still there or is he gone?
I think he's long gone.
Yeah,
this guy
that was unfortunate.
This guy with no globe evidence could take up the mic.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Globe. No globe evidence. Go ahead.
Slipknot, did you get that? Did you do that render?
No, look. What really amuses me is that someone says that they have. Hang on. I just started. Let me make a comment real quick, okay? What really amuses me is that at one point, some people think that this is an actual argument, like saying, "Oh, you have never questioned this, you have never questioned that." It's like as if they knew me my whole life and they know what I have done.
What questioning did you put it through? What questions did you ask?
You have to think about it. Hold on.
I asked a question a while ago, right? And if you guys keep wanna like talking about these rigs,
the globe. What questioning did you put that under?
Like a long time ago, like whether like the kind of phenomenon can be explained like by means of or like certain events or things that we can do, if they can be explained by one model or another, right? So,
like what?
Like what? Like for instance, like the seasons, right? And solar eclipses.
And what's the other model you looked at and compared?
Right. What else do you guys offer? And
what's the other model you looked at?
Come again?
What's the other model you checked?
The standard model of a round Earth.
That's all you looked at, right?
Do people believe in other models?
Okay,
I don't know. Maybe
that's all you looked at. You haven't really put it through any questioning at all. And why do you need a model anyway? You can just appeal to reality. You don't need models.
Oh, models are actual interpretations of reality, right? Is there explanations of how, like it's putting into words and equations our understanding of how reality works, right? They're not just made up things, right? Like people try to explain the real world, and that's why we come up with models. Some may be accurate, some may be like kind of average, and some other models can be like really bad, right?
Pretty
But
obvious you
there
don't
are
question the globe at all,
but
dude.
there are attempts
It's
at
pretty obvious you don't
explaining.
have any questions for the globe at all. You just take it wholesale.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep repeating that. That's just a lame straw man. Sorry, but that's not
You haven't
true.
critiqued it at all, dude.
What is
You're just saying
critiquing
the
the
same
model?
generic shit everybody says. Seasons, eclipses. You haven't critiqued anything. You haven't even started thinking about it. It's obvious.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you shout out
Okay, have
refraction. You shout out refraction makes things bend up 66 feet, dude.
Have you critiqued those cases? And what then how do you come about your answers to those? No.
What was
And
your question?
you have nothing. I raise my case.
Refraction.
No, we didn't understand your question.
Refraction.
What was your question again? Yeah.
Yeah, well, Heretic said that I didn't even question the things that I mentioned, right? So I'm asking if he actually, I mean, if he's accusing me of that, I mean, I would bet that he actually questioned those or examples and went through some kind of experimentation process to come to a conclusion, right?
Yeah, I asked lots of questions about the globe. You haven't asked any. Like, what's the radius?
So
Have you asked
what
that
about
question?
So hang on. I mentioned the solar eclipses. How did you?
That's what I thought. You haven't asked anything.
I mentioned something before.
Eclipses, that's just chanting. That's just chanting and rhetoric, dude. You have no clue about eclipses.
Because you know you cannot explain solar eclipses with your model.
I don't have a model, so that's non sequitur.
You share it.
I don't need a model.
Share it. Oh, you don't need a model. You have a model, but you need it. Which of those two is it?
You didn't even hear what you said.
You either have a model, you can present
You didn't even
it, or you
listen to
don't
what
need one.
you said you don't have a model, and he's asking you for the fucking model still.
Yeah, he's not getting it. You haven't asked any questions, and you're putting it on me
You
too.
don't have a
Like, I'm just wondering what questions you've asked of the globe. I've asked plenty. That's why I'm here. You obviously haven't asked any. I asked you what. Have you even asked what the radius is? You don't have that. You don't know anything about it. You're just chanting. It's obvious. You're not fooling anybody.
You're ignoring what I mentioned before, and you try to move the goalpost to something else because
No,
you know
it's
you
the same
cannot explain
goalpost. It's
solar
the question
eclipses
I
with
asked
your
you to
model.
begin with, and you're trying to move the goalposts all over the place. You're a
No, I'm
dumbass,
sticking
dude.
with I'm sticking with what I mentioned earlier.
All right, what
and you
questions
were
have you
trying to
asked of the
avoid
globe?
it.
What?
Trying to
What have you
avoid it.
asked about it? What have you questioned about it?
I mentioned a couple of examples, and you're ignoring them, right?
But
One
what?
of
You
those
just
examples
chanted
was
seasons,
one of those
eclipses. It's not
examples.
questioning
That is not
anything.
just chanting. That is not chanting. I mean, that is mentioning two examples, and then when you had this kind of response that I didn't question anything and stuff, then I asked you what was your thought process to come to your conclusion about the eclipses. And then you're ignoring it.
Eclipses,
What
they're
you're
non
doing is that you're
sequitur.
mentioning
I would
the
just
radius
question
of
whether the
Earth.
ground has curvature or not. Like a
Right.
sphere would.
Go ahead and prove eclipses to me, please, with your model.
Prove eclipses with my model. I already told you I don't have. Dude, you're just chanting. You're a crazy zealot.
You don't have.
I would ask.
You don't
I would
have
ask,
one?
does the ground have any curvature like a globe would?
Eclipses
have
debunk
one?
your globe anyway. Eclipses debunk your globe.
How so?
Easy.
I'm listening.
Oh, you don't know what a Selenilian lunar eclipse is?
I mentioned solar eclipses.
I don't care about that. I'm going to
You
give
must
you
be
an
new to
eclipse
this
that
topic.
debunks
Because
your
that
globe.
doesn't work for you.
Yeah, he asked all the questions, but he's never heard of a Selenilian lunar eclipse. Dude, it's obvious you don't know anything. You're just chanting the same generic points that everybody else does. Seasons, eclipses. You don't know the topic, dude. It's clear.
You're just projecting because you know
You don't know the
cannot
radius.
explain
You don't know the
eclipses with
expected
your model.
curvature drop rate. You wouldn't know the distance to the horizon. You wouldn't know if that distance is actually observed in reality. You don't know anything. You don't know what a Selenilian eclipse is, like you just brought up. So you don't even know the things that you're chanting about.
See, that is basically going on the offensive, right? Like in with a bunch of strawman
Who
arguments.
cares?
Right?
You don't. It's true. It's true. You don't. You
You
don't.
just say that. It's like you repeating you don't know this and that. I mean, it doesn't make it true,
Well,
right?
it's just
I mean,
because you lied earlier and said, "Oh yeah, I questioned the globe big time." No, you didn't. So just pointing it out.
Can you have a
Again, in a
lunar
very short-
eclipse? Can you have a lunar eclipse if the sun and moon are in the sky at the same time? Stop talking when I'm talking. Can you have a lunar eclipse when the sun and moon are in the sky at the same time? You can see them.
What?
Yes or no?
You said a lunar eclipse.
Yeah, in a lunar eclipse, can you have the sun and moon in the sky at the same time, and you can see them from where you're standing?
Oh boy, is that a serious question?
Yes.
You can't have a lunar eclipse during the day. That's the only time when you see the sun and the moon at the same time. But again, I mean,
You're cooked then.
why don't we go back to
You're all
solar?
done, dude. You're done.